Yo, like, subscribe, follow, giddy up.
That's my baby. I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about? Quick cut. What's up, everybody? This is Fan Friday, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you by BodyCheckWellness.com, and you can use promo code A2D. Get yourself 20% off at checkout. Body Check Wellness, a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. And they come in extracts, blends, gummies, topicals, and you get the clarity and focus too, which I know me and Mr. Friel enjoy. And that's a great one. And they just made it all hemp plain. I don't know if anybody just saw that. I just saw that on the scroll on the feed earlier today. So hemp being used in a lot of shit. So check out bodycheckwellness.com and use promo code A2D for 20% off. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Jake Friel, Pete Young, the family out there joining us. What's happening, everybody? A lot to talk about. We'll do our Eagles BS talk later on in the show. Fan Friday call-ins. So we'll get to as many as we can get to. Hopefully, and we love him, but hopefully no run this week. Maybe he takes a week down, regathers his thoughts. Carter Hart struggles. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about him being fine. I know the guys on the Hockey Happy Hour spoke about it last night ad nauseum, but we'll continue to speak on that ad nauseum because, you know, you got to give guys times. Their sophomore slumps. Somebody like myself probably sort of called this happening this year a little bit for him, and that's fine. That's just part of the NHL and a young goaltender and a bad defense and a lot of things that come into play. Phillies, all right, it's here. It's getting here. Playoff hopes. That might not be getting here, but the Phillies are right around the corner, and it's exciting and looking to play 162, revamped pen, you know, not a ton of names, but Archie Bradley just makes you better. And then, you know, we'll see what else they do here and what camps what arms they leave camp with. So that's undecided here as well. And outside of 1 through 3 rotation wise, there's some question marks on who's going to be that 4th and 5th guy. So we'll talk about them. We'll talk about playoff hopes. We'll have some questions about over-unders for some things, especially win-loss. We'll go off of Vegas's numbers, which is extremely low. You know, I gave one out on agree disagree the other day, 90. And I didn't think they were at 90, but I thought Vegas would be like 87, 85. They're low. They're low on the Phillies, which isn't a good sign, but it's Major League Baseball. And the fun thing is that's why you play them. Main topic at hand is the Sixers. Them heading to the All-Star break, and we'll talk about them heading into the break and what they got coming out of it. Because I think they go 2 at home and then 4 on the road and then 2 back. So they got a little West Coaster coming up. So last time we went out anywhere, we just went 1 and 3. So something to talk about, and we'll talk about Tobias Harris and, you know, maybe how long he's out for, even though it's just a contusion, which is great news, and it's not something that, you know, is a 6 to 8 weeker here. You know, probably out maybe till the All-Star break. Be back after the break, I would think, if they played it safe. So we'll talk about that. And our poll question, which is Sixers related, obviously, and is brought to you by our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Ben Simmons is the best defender in the NBA. Do you agree or disagree? And you can let us know Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation tonight. And you can do that by not only in the chat, but you can do that as well by hopping in on the phone lines. So just inbox any of A2D socials, and we'll get you that link over. And that's like we talked about earlier on and a couple minutes ago, unless you're Rome. No, we'll sit that out. Ben Simmons is the best defender in the NBA. Agree or disagree? Listen, there's a lot of damn good ones, and there's one right on his team with him too, in Joel Embiid. And you know, to me, it's like you always want to like lean towards like the rim protectors, right? But the way the game's set up, you need great perimeter defenders. Now, do I think he's the best defender in the NBA right now? I'm going because I think there's going to be more. I think there's going to be more agrees on this panel. So I'll be the villain and say disagree. I mean, one, There's a guy who's playing on the best team in basketball right now, is a pretty damn good defender in his own right, and got paid for being a damn good defender, and he's a rim protector, and Rudy Gobert. Okay, so one right there. I mean, it's hard to say he's better than him right now, and it may be hard to say he's better than Joe. As a defender. I mean, I'm just a big man guy that guys can protect the rim and keep guys from having to take lower percentage shots. That helps you big time. And that's not a shot at Ben. I think Ben's a first-team all-defensive guy. So before I go into this, make sure you understand that. I think he's first-team all-defense. I don't think there's a question about it. And I think he's engaged himself even more defensively in years past, and he's gotten better. But I'm a big rim protector guy, and I think there's two guys, just a big man alone, that are better defenders than him. And I think Joe is, and I think Rudy Gobert is. And I don't think that's an unfair assessment, especially when it comes to Rudy, and especially how his basketball team's playing right now too, which has a big part of him and how he go and how good of a defender he is. So I understand how important wing defenders are, and Ben Simmons being as big as he is. And, you can slow down a guy like Luka a little bit. You can slow down guys like we talk about, right? And I love him. I love him for the way he's gotten up in guys. But the best defender comes with a real big sample size, right? Like best defender, not that I need more because he's developing. He's 23, 24 years old. Like he's only getting better. And I know he's been a good defender now for a stretch, right? But okay, I need more of a sample size to say you're the best in the league at something. Right? And I know numbers will speak to how good he is, and I get that. For all the stat mongols out there that are gonna smack me over the head, I get it. That's why he's a first team all defensive guy. That's why I'm not running from that. But I'm just an old school junkie where I love rim protectors. And I said there's two big men in the league that are better defenders than he is. Because they have a track record of it too. That are both first or second team defenders every year so far, right? I mean, I know Joe's been at least, what was he, second team last year? I think
so, yeah.
Right? And the year before he was first, I think. Mm-hmm. So Joe's been there twice on that board. Rudy's been there twice on that board. And I think Rudy's been defensive player of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Twice. Yeah, twice, right? So, I mean, it was out of my brain. Wasn't even 100% sure. I just knew that's what he is. So that's what he got paid for. Unless the money's a lie. You know what I mean? Unless the money's lying. I mean, that's what he got paid for. He didn't get paid to beat Joe and score 28 a night. Joe's just so special because he can do both of them. But tell me he's better than them guys. You know what I mean? Tell me he's better defender than the two-time defensive player of the year who's still playing at a high rate. And his team's the best team in basketball, record-wise. It's hard to say that. And I see people already saying, there's some disagrees already, a lot of disagrees, which is good because I'm not on an island. I felt a little islandish. We're talking hometown teams. You know what I mean? People start thinking you're critical, and that's why I got to say he's a first-team all-defensive player 5,000 times, so people don't mistake it as, dude, go be defensive player of the year, and then we'll start when your peers and everybody else are gonna label you that, right? Then we can start labeling you that, in my opinion. And it's a poll question that I came up with, so it's not like, I mean, you would think it'd be an agree fest for me. No, it's not, because I know people are talking about him at that level, and that's fine. We played 30-something games or whatever the hell it is. Okay, I just need do it for a whole year, be healthy, like we say, same thing for Joe, and go win it. Go win that defensive player of the year, which you have a chance to do, but become a first-team all-defender. I mean, starts there, right? And then you'll be in the conversation. But we know how it is in this league. It's hard to overtake that guy if that guy's still playing at a high level because they might go back to him again. The only thing Ben has on his side is his age and this being a star-driven league where I think if he keeps this up all year, he could win it. You understand where I'm going with this? Because they would want to give a young player that kind of stature, right? Because it's good for the game. I know how the NBA thinks. Okay, good for the game, blah, 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 blah. But first-team all-defender, I absolutely agree with. Best defender in the game, I disagree with. Family out there, you let us know. And if he is, I really need to know how and why right now, like over some damn good defenders in this league. So, why? You want to rank them where I do? First teamer? Fine. We're in agree fest. We'll have a circle jerk. But the agrees I'm gonna have trouble with. I'm gonna have a lot of trouble with. They act like they fucking put Luke in jail last night. He guy was still 6 for 13. He didn't shoot a lot. I mean, I know he worked them. But like, let's not act like it was a fucking shutdown city here. I mean, the way you would read it is like I watched the game and I know what he did. My eyes showed me what he did. All right, he made things hard on him, made things difficult on him. I get it. But let's not act like he put him in a fucking blender here. When the guy had 19 points, I know the guys are gonna get what they get, but I mean, people are acting like he shot 6 for 25. You know what I'm saying? Like the volume wasn't even there. So you wanted to give credit to the volume not being there. Fine, that's a different argument. But don't tell me he shut him down. I think he got 13 fucking shots. Come on, 6 for 13. So he shot a little under 50%. Let's slow it down. Pump our brakes here a little bit. I know we get excited with W's, and he worked them, and he made them work for everything. I get it. Working through screens, the whole 9. I watch the games, okay? But let's not. Come on. I just think we do this sometimes too much as a fan base too. Like, look at him. Look at unless I read it wrong.
That'll be memed. Thank you.
Unless I read it wrong. I love it. I get the turnovers. I get it. Listen, he is a damn good defensive player. There's no denying that. But we just talk about things that like, well, I watched the game. Like he's always plays good defense. He always makes guys work. But there was nothing last night that was like shut down city. Like they made the Mavericks as a basketball team turn the basketball over. I mean, they did that. They're a good defensive team, the Sixers, when they're playing the way they want to play. And it starts with Ben and Joe. No question. But let's just, calm down. I mean, we walk around like it's the greatest defender of all time here. That's all. Slow down. Let's get some accolades first, and then we put the crown on. That's how that goes. All right? I will say that a million times. Get the accolades, then you put the crown on, and we can just sit here and ski all day and just jerk everybody off. Okay? Until then, like, sample sizes. He's been way more aggressive. He's been 100 times better of a player since the trade talks ended. Okay? And I got not a bad word to say about Ben Simmons. You understand that? Not a bad word to say about him. I know what kind of player he is and what kind of player he can be if he keeps improving. And he has. And he's improved defensively. Go win the fucking award, and then we can start agreeing. That's all I got. What do you guys got?
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with the poll as well, and I'm going to kind of go right off where Tom was. It's Rudy Gobert for me, and just to give people a little bit of context, obviously, Rudy Gobert, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, or NBA All-Defensive Team, first team, 4 times, which is impressive. And then you have Joel Embiid, who I also rank higher than him. Now, again, it's NBA All-Defensive second team, and you have Ben, who was NBA All-Defense last year, and he led the league in steals last year. But again, we're talking about sample sizes, right? Tom talked about sample sizes. Rudy Gobert has a whole spreadsheet. So
fucking Excel, Jake.
He's playing he plays at a high level, and he's a high-level defender, and that's not taking anything away from Ben. Ben held Luka to 19 points last night, which is, I think, his 3rd lowest of the year so far. The only time he was held in around those kind of numbers was, like, I think 2 other times this year, which is still impressive in and of itself, but it's such a small sample size, and he's still so young. Not saying that he can't be a great defender. It's just we need to see more of it.
Yeah, I think he's a great defender. I think he's turning himself into that because it's a 1-2 thing too, and his size and his ability. And I know what guys are saying, like, yeah, well, he shut him down in today's NBA. I get that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he made him work. He worked through screens. He didn't let him bully him. He was tough with him. I get all that. I'm just saying, like, when I saw the memes come out afterwards, I was like, gee, my own. I mean, you would act like, you know what I mean? You would act like he like officially shut him down. I had to go look at his box score again. You know what I mean? I had to go circle back and say, what did I miss? Like, okay, yeah, he made him work, and that's what expected. But let's there's a lot of basketball to be played here, and the last thing I want to start doing is jinxing shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think people, not everybody, like a lot of the comments I can agree with, and even the people who disagree or I'm sorry, agree with the poll, I can understand what they're saying, but I think some people are getting this misconstrued and taking it as a shot at Ben Simmons saying that he's not the best. Like, I think people need to realize that we're all saying that he's up, in the top echelon. I also disagree with the poll.
It's that first team All NBA.
Exactly. Like if you're a top 3 defender in the league, like that's pretty damn good. Especially when your teammate is the other guy too. Like when you're in the conversation with Rudy Gobert and your teammate, when 2 Sixers out of the 3 are in the top 3 and all in the NBA, you're in a really good spot. You're in a fantastic spot. So to me, like I would say for anyone who agrees to the poll, your leading argument is that he can defend 1 through 5. Not flawlessly, but he can do it probably better than anyone in the NBA. Absolutely. But I was going to say this before I heard Tom say it and before I heard Jake say it, and a lot of people say it. It's kind of like with power rankings, right? When you talk about power rankings entering the year, well, clearly the number 1 in the power rankings is always going to be the person or team who won it the year before. Because it's like, okay, until someone takes that role or that job or that name or that title away from them, that person stole that guy. Now, do I think Ben Simmons has a really good chance to win it this year? Absolutely. I think Joel Embiid also has a really good chance. Obviously, Rudy Gobert, as usual, has a really good chance. But until Ben Simmons is awarded that, I have to go with the guy who's made a career of being that guy. And like we said, Ben Simmons has plenty.
That guy, Ryan.
Say it again?
$160 million max contract because he's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Rudy got paid. It's what Rudy got paid for. It's It's a body of work. The body of work.
And this was actually interesting. So they do this on NBA.com. They poll a handful of the coaches every week because they do like a tally, like a power rankings list. And I'm not a big fan of this guy, and I know Wizards fans aren't, but Scott Brooks said something interesting, which I want to see if you guys agree. I'll read you his quote. And they were talking about the difference between Ben Simmons and Rudy Gobert and which one they would rather have on their team as far as defender. And he says, and I quote, "If you want to be great, you need them both. But if you had to pick one, I think rim protection is so important. I know everyone's shooting threes, but about 60 points a game are at the rim. If you could take away 6 or 8 of those every game, you have a chance." So he's talking about how important the rim protectors are.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You didn't even need that fun guy stats. Like that, you know what I mean? Circle back 3 minutes ago. I just told you that what's higher percentage? Layups, dunks, right? 5-foot floaters, right? I mean, you're going to have higher percentages, common sense. Even the best guys who shoot the 3 ball, their percentages are lower than stuff inside a certain area. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to that point, like I want both, like that guy said, obviously. You want Joe and Ben. But what's our defense look worse with? Like when you take Joel off the court, right, and Joel doesn't play in a game, our defense doesn't even look nearly as good. Why? Because you don't protect the rim anymore. Mm-hmm. So now you get the easy buckets, and if you get the easy buckets, they lead then to open threes, right? If you can get to the rim early and create that, teams got to sort of bog it down, right? Then what becomes easier? The 3 ball. Then you start getting more open looks. You know what I mean? That's why you always try to win inside out. They always say. So that proves there too. It's hard to say it's just hard to say he's the best. It's hard.
The fact that we're even having this conversation is a win though for the Sixers. It is. Like the fact absolutely. That he's even in the conversation, especially with his teammate. That's the important thing at the end of the day.
Oh yeah. I mean, even if you got I would put him top 5, right? Because there is guys that are great defenders. I mean, people are mentioning them as we go. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, let's not forget, the guy made his staple of his career early on as being a great defender and still is. Okay. So you just look at him. Sure. You look at Giannis. Giannis is a good defender. So there's a lot of good defenders in this league. And I know the great thing about it, this isn't the flashy conversation, right? Like usually you're talking about MVP, it's flashy. Defensive player of the year is not flashy. But I agree with you guys in the fact that I think he will be a defensive player of the year, and it could be this year. 1, because the NBA would love to give it to him. 2, so don't anybody out there saying, I know some people are saying Vinny said, he's the most exciting player to watch play defense in the league, Ben Simmons. And I love that because it's like when we talk about rim protection, it's not a shot at perimeter defenders, not a shot at all. but you have to play such a high level there, right, to like overcome the big men, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be like so obvious where Kawhi was, right, which Ben's getting to. Don't get me wrong, where it's so obvious on the eyes that you're like, okay, this guy's just that damn good at it, which is what he's growing into. He's absolutely growing into that type of player. And like I said, when you're a perimeter guy, it's different than a big man. Perimeter guys, it's a big time 1-2 thing. You know, big man when you're 7-1, it's a little easier. You know what I mean? When you're just protecting the rim, it's not as big of a 1-2. When you got to work through screens, right, and fight out there and constantly be moving, it's a little harder than the rim protector per se. So, you know, I mean, I thought it'd be a fun conversation because I thought there'd be a good split out there with the people on how they feel about this. And yeah, and I mean, nobody's taking anything away. Anthony, he's a hell of a player. He's getting better every year. The one guy I think that might agree with this on here, I thought one of you two would have at least. I mean, I know for a fact Pete is. I mean, I don't even know. We don't even got to go to him. You know what I mean? It's his fucking son. So we don't even need to ask him. But no, I mean, Pete, tell us what you think about the poll question, family out there. Ben Simmons is the best defender in the NBA. Agree or disagree? Let us know right now. 3 disagrees. All agree that he's at least a first-team all-defender right now. Mm-hmm. And top 5 guy in the league. But the best, I don't know, guy in Utah's getting paid fucking $300 million to play defense. So take the award from him, Benny, and then it's yours. Pete?
See, I get the fun stuff. So everyone else disagrees with this. I actually agree with it. I do think he's the best defender in the NBA. I know Rudy Gobert is next level. I know Joel Embiid is next level. But you can make the argument that Ben makes a lot of Joel's life easier being next to him when he's helping him defend players. He can also defend positions 1 through 5. Obviously, he's not the type of rim protector that Joel is or Rudy Gobert is, but I feel like wing defenders are probably one of the most valuable types of defenders in the league, and I don't think they get their proper love from time to time. He's always leading. He's going to lead the league in deflections and steals. He's always on the ball, and obviously, some people will say that he didn't dominate the game last night. My guy Brock Landis does a really great thing on YouTube and Twitter where he breaks down games. One of his arguments was he had 25 plus possessions against Luka Doncic last night. He made 3 shots or 3 buckets. 0 for 3 from 3, and he turned the ball over 4 times against Ben Simmons. That's the type of defender Ben Simmons is. He's elite. He will go against the best players, and he'll bring them his lunch pail. Obviously, you can make an argument with Gobert. You can make the argument with Joel Embiid. Those are next level guys. I think Ben Simmons is a first-team All-NBA defender. He was last year. However, I think this year, even with Gobert having a slight edge from winning last year, I think Ben has the edge right now. I truly do. And you know what? I could be handed my ass at the end of the season with this, and I'm okay with that. I'll take the lump if I'm wrong. But I don't think anyone's throwing shade at Ben. No one tonight is bashing him because we all are under the same agreement. He's an elite defender. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA. That is without question. Whether you think he's 1 or 3, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, he's a stud defender and he will make your team better defensively and will help you get you turnovers and put you in the right position to win basketball games. So while I don't agree with you where you guys are coming from, I do understand the reasonings behind everything. So I do think he's the best defender in the NBA.
Listen, fair. The only thing I didn't agree with you on, and it was early, where you were saying more, Ben makes Joe's life easier defensively. I'm going to go the opposite way of that. I
can completely see where you come from on that one.
And the only reason I'll say this is because you can be more aggressive on the perimeter, knowing you have a shot blocker behind you. So, and it's just like that thought process. I would assume that's talked about. Knowing you have either Dwight behind you or Joe behind you, one of them 2 guys who can protect the rim, that, hey, be more aggressive going for steals. Be more aggressive fighting through screens the right way, right? And the little things on the perimeter. Get up on the in guys. If a guy goes by you, hey, you got a 6'10" guy covering you and a 7'1" guy or 7-footer right behind him. So, I think that makes life easier on perimeter defenders a little bit too. But listen, this has been a topic of with them two forever. Like, I'll say it a million times, them two help each other. You know what I mean? And
they're each other's best friends on the court.
Yeah, and I'm not going to try to divide them two. I'm just talking simply as like perimeter guy helping a big man or vice versa more. I would always assume the big man is going to help the perimeter guy. The only thing I didn't like in here, somebody said, "Oh, you can't." I think it was Levi that Rudy. He won't take Rudy because Rudy can't step outside the paint. Well, it's not what he's getting paid for.
Defense.
Yeah, he's getting paid to protect the paint. I mean, he's getting paid. That's what he's getting paid to do. So I don't.
You can throw the 40-point game on Rudy wherever you want to throw that in there, though.
Well, Kevin, he said by your logic, we stop saying Embiid's MVP until he takes it from Giannis. No more MVP talk from you till then. Well, that's not true because
Giannis isn't anywhere close to the player he was last year compared to now.
Playing better than him. Like you're telling me to strip the
outclassing him.
Kev, you're telling me to strip the award from a guy who's won it twice and is on the best team in the league. Like it's hard for me to strip that. I'm telling you, he's a first-team All-Defender. So I can't say Joel Embiid's a top 3 MVP. It's the same conversation essentially, except he's playing, at a higher level than last year's MVP. Where can you say that Ben is playing a higher level defensively than the guy who won it last year? I can't fully say that. I can say he's playing right there with him, but I can't tell you he's head and shoulders now better defender than him. So think about the logic there. That your logic's backwards. At least that felt right. It felt right saying that, at least. I don't know if I'm right, but it felt right saying it back to you, Kev, because that logic's flawed to me. Because I'm telling you he's better than a guy who won it last year compared to a guy who won it last year that's still at the top of his game doing it. Giannis is taking a step back. Now, can he come make a roaring back and win it? He absolutely can. He's not dead yet. His team's playing better basketball. He can absolutely come back and win it. Come on. Come on. That's not fair.
We might have an injured Jason Tatum right now.
He has it looks like what do you call it? It looks like oh my God. Looks like a calf cramp. That's what it looks like anyway, but.
Nah, somebody ran into him.
Is that what it was? Okay. I'm streaming it, so I'm a little behind.
Tobias defense has been much better this season, which has been a pleasant surprise. Absolutely has.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I don't think that gets talked about enough. Like, obviously, all the offensive changes Tobias has played. Like, he's a much better pick and roll player this year. He's a much better. His jumper is pretty wet this season. His 3-point percentage is on money right now, and it's up there to where he was when he was playing with Doc last time with the Clippers. But his defense is above and beyond what it was last year, and I feel like that's just what it is. Having Doc Rivers in this room, and he's awoken a sleeping giant in this team. Whether it's Joel, whether it's Ben Simmons, whether it's Tobias Harris, he's just made everyone on this team better, and they have bought into this guy's system. Mm-hmm. I had doubts when he came in here because I've always been on the fence with Rivers for reasons here and there, but I'm a believer in him. To me, he's the coach of the year, and he is changed this team in ways I didn't expect.
Yeah, and he absolutely has. And what did Ben say last night? Accountability after the game, right? In that little quote. And I love the confidence too. Like I always say, talk's cheap unless you're doing it. Okay, so for him to come out and constantly talk about how good he wants to be defensively, all right, It's not cheap talk when you're doing it, right? It's like the Jalen Reagor thing today. Shut the fuck up, okay? You and Jalen and your little fucking high fives. Shut the fuck up, okay? Simple. Go do it, right? High five and actually do something. All right, I hate that shit. Miles Sanders hate that shit. Go do it, and then you can be talking all about it, right? This guy talks about playing defense and goes and does it, and I love it, and I don't want any of that to get misconstrued in a conversation. Is he the best defender in the league? Like, don't misconstrue my feelings on him defensively when I've been blowing him and riding the slopes for the whole year now and going back sometime about how good a defender he is. So I'm not taking any of that away from him. He's still a top 5 guy in the league. And it's harder to, I get it. It's a guard scoring. It's a guard driven league. And with that being said, you need great perimeter defenders. That's why I like Matisse too. You know, doesn't give you much offensively, but listen, he's long. He's athletic. He can keep up with some of these wing guys. That's so important, right? So, you know, to me, it's not a shot at the guy, and I think he has a really good chance of winning it this year. So, Kevin, back to that logic, is that fair? Like, I mean, I said that earlier on too, that he had a legit chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year. So, you know, I don't know. What happened, Robert? This is why I don't answer this. What? You know, black players? Jesus Christ! Now we're doing.
Are you fucking serious? Get out of here, man.
Players in Philly. My favorite fucking players in Philly sports have been black guys. Dude, are you okay? Allen Iverson, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins. Don't fucking talk to him. Joel Embiid's my fucking son, okay? I would let him sleep in bed with me, all right? So don't fucking tell me and try to bring this shit in here. Go away.
But you're gonna come on to our show and try that nonsense? Like we're not doing that. Like
it's stupid. It's just stupid. Fake account. Look at it. No profile pic.
I was gonna say it's a burner. It's a friggin' burner.
That's all it is.
Vinny says, when's the last time the same team had in the same year had Coach of the Year and MVP?
01. Or for us or for in general?
I think he's right talking about
in general.
Like when's the last time? I don't know because I don't follow I just don't follow. I don't follow the awards as much, like in any sport anymore, as much as I used to. Like, you know what I mean? I just you can ask me who won MVP, and I would be like, ah.
Was the guy in Milwaukee? Did he win Coach of the Year anytime when Giannis won?
Yeah, Budenholzer. That's probably a good name, Pete. When it was him and Giannis, it could be LeBron and Ty Lue. It could be Kerr and Steph Curry the year they won like 73, 72, or whatever their record was.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they won MVP together.
Steph Curry?
LeBron and Ty. The guy said LeBron and Ty, and I'm just like,
did Ty Lue get Coach of the Year that year? Then LeBron win MVP? I don't know.
He hasn't won MVP since like 2012, if I recall.
Yeah, I think it's probably Giannis and Budenholzer was there.
Mm-hmm.
Steph and what's his name Steve Kerr are probably a good option too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from the 73. How many games did they win that year? 72?
Who won? Did Kawhi win MVP the year with Toronto?
No.
No.
Right?
No, he won Finals MVP.
Yeah, so okay.
I don't think he's won MVP.
Yeah, I was wondering because the coach Nick Nurse probably won Coach of the Year that year. I would have to guess. I don't know. We'll just assume that'd be Coach of the Year.
I would imagine so.
Pretty decent season. Speaking of Toronto, John, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
it was Giannis and Budenholzer in 2019.
Okay.
That's what I
so not long ago.
I'll just say this, okay? I know I'm the trade guy, per se. I'm not doing any trade scenarios tonight, by the way. I have nothing for you, John. If we're giving out all of our assets, I'm not going to Kyle Lowry first. Okay? No. Like if you're giving up Green and Maxey or Thibault and Scott and a bunch of picks, Kyle Lowry on a 1-year deal when he's 34 years old is not my first choice. No. If we got him, am I going to be throwing things at the TV? No. Because he makes us an absolute finals contender. But if we're going to I don't even know if we even need to make that splashy of a move, to be honest.
Yeah.
Part of me would wish instead of giving up all that for a 1-year guy, not even a guy on a 1-year contract, it'd be like half a season contract with the amount of time we have with him. I almost wish we would rather just tweak the bench a little bit and work with buyouts.
Yep.
Because listen, I'm not, this is crowning.
Murphy. It'd be Murph's, knocking on Maxey and Thibault for Lowry.
No.
And this isn't a crown Maxey thing, and it's definitely not a crown Thibault thing, but I don't love giving up 4 years of Thibault or Maxey for half a season of Kyle Lowry.
He was 31, I would.
Yes.
31,
this was like 2 years ago. It'd be a conversation. Yeah, I really I'm not the biggest Lowry guy, but he brings championship experience. He's a good player. He's another guy to be on the ball. If you're telling me, all right, you give up like a protected first, some seconds, Danny Green, Mike Scott, and like Vincent Poinier, and we'll take whatever other contract they need us to take over. I do something like that. I don't want to give up Maxi Thibault for this, like, because he's 33, 34, and the last year of his deal. Like,
yeah, they shouldn't be in the position to be able to get that much for it. Like, again, if he had 2 years left on his deal, then guess what? The value for him, maybe even at 35, may still get you that, right? Hypothetically. Okay. But when you're 35 and you're a free agent after this year, you're not going to be, besides matching money, you can't get the value you think you're going to get. You're not getting all these young players. Like, maybe one of them would have to go, right? Like, maybe you would have to part with one. All right. And depending on what I'm doing, I don't even know if I want to do that. But I agree with you. Like, if I could go Danny Green, Mike Scott, and and work picks, and make it work that way, sure. But I'm not giving up, like Ryan was saying too. I'm not giving up the damn fucking farm for a rental at 35 years old. Like, I should be able to hold off and get more if I'm parting ways with Maxi Thibault picks and all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I know somebody was like, "Oh, did you see his stats tonight?" Nobody's saying he's not a very good player. Nobody's saying he wouldn't help us. That's not the point of it.
No, expiring deal.
Exactly. And we just got burnt with this. I'm not comparing situations, but in a way it would be kind of similar. And I trust this GM way more than I do Elton Brand, okay? But we just played this game where we gave up a bunch of assets for guys who were on a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? For Jimmy Butler. Yeah. Say, for example, like, if Kyle Lowry's here, I think we already have a very good chance to get to the finals, but I think it would absolutely add to that with Kyle Lowry. But I'm not playing with fire when I don't feel like I need to, saying, okay, I'm going to get rid of Thibault or Maxi or both. Danny Green, I'm not too worried about Danny Green. He's just a guy to me, as far as future stuff. And a bunch of picks when, say, for example, we do that, losing in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then we're sitting here 6 months from now with no Maxi, with no Kyle Lowry because he's a free agent and there's no guarantee that he's going to re-sign here. And even if he is going to re-sign here, he would be 35 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not playing that game again. It doesn't give me any assurances. I would rather give up a bunch of assets, if that was the case, for guys who are a little bit younger, a little bit better, and a few more years of control. And those guys are out there.
Yeah, I don't think he needs all that flip-flopping and moving around and shaking. I mean, I just think they need, like you said, little, like, you know what I mean? We just might need to tighten some bolts here. We need to tighten some bolts up, and we'll be good. And we'll be good to ride. I mean, what I see from this team isn't like major needs. Like, I know people might not love this starting five, but it's really good, and it's really good together. And I don't want to break that up. I stand by that. Like, I don't want to break the starting five up. There's other ways I can help my bench out and help my team out without the flashy big names. It doesn't have to be that. I have enough flash here. I have fucking 1, 2, 3. I got 3 guys that I'm paying big time money for. I got the flash. I don't need more flash. I had the Jimmy Butler game and no bench. Yeah, I'm not doing the Jimmy Butler no bench game again. Like, what did Miami show you last year? You got to have a bench to get there too, right? The Lakers showed the same damn thing, right? Like, their bench production was big for them 2 teams. Both teams that were in the NBA Finals were there, yes, because they had legitimate starting fives, which we do, okay, because the numbers speak to it, all right? Walking double-doubles, everybody. Walking double digits, everybody in our starting five, okay? Now, is our bench good enough, right? Can it be to the levels of those teams? That's what's going to make us better. That's what's going to take us to the Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals is what low-level guys are you going to bring there, what buyouts, or what little moves do you make, right? If you do make little moves. Now, Mike Scott has shown a pulse since healing up a little bit, right? That's signs of life that, hey, if you're shooting threes, I don't need to go get that stretch 4 because you're better than PJ Tucker if you just fucking shoot.
You know what's funny, too?
This career, I'm saying, at this point.
Yeah, this Tobias Harris injury, you're going to be seeing Mike Scott start until the All-Star break, theoretically.
How many games are we? 2, 3? What are we at? We're right there.
I think we have 2 games until the break.
I think so too.
So it could work 2 ways. Either it's going to show us, Daryl Morey, the fans, etc., Doc Rivers, how good Mike Scott can be in dependable moments, because he's going to be in a lot of dependable moments because he's going to be starting for us. And if he plays well, you're shopping him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And if he sucks, if he's the Mike Scott that we've seen for most of the last, 16 months, then at the very least, you're going to attach him just because he's a contract and he's an NBA body. So this Mike Scott thing, I'll never say that an injury.
If he's playing well, though, if he this is my only debate with that, though, because it's like we're not in a rebuild. So if he's playing well as a veteran at a stretch 4 that we need, why would we decide to trade him? You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. No, because then as a fan, I would say, and I would hope as an organization, I would say, okay, if Mike Scott plays really, really well for the next handful of games until Tobias Harris is back, however long that is, then I can then say as an organization or as a general manager, okay, we thought that our biggest need was the backup stretch 4. Now let's look more into giving assets to, let's say, a veteran point guard, for example, or maybe another center that can add on to what Dwight Howard's giving us off the bench, or you know what I'm saying, like doing something like that. But to me, listen,
you reevaluate.
I love Kyle Lowry as a player. I also think I would love him because he drives me crazy having to play against him. I can't stand playing against Kyle Lowry. He's a friggin' pest. I can't stand him, which is a really good compliment, especially for somebody if he was on our team. But I think as an organization right now, and this would change if Ben Simmons wasn't playing well the last 2 weeks, if Joel Embiid was an MVP candidate, if Tobias Harris wasn't having a really solid season, and then Seth and Danny kind of fill in the roles when they can, and Shake Milton playing really good. I would rather see 3 small moves than 1 big move. Yep. And don't get me wrong. If the big move comes and it's not irresponsible, I'm going to be celebrating because I have a feeling I know who that player is, and I'm not naming them. But if it's the smaller moves, that gives me even more assurances how much Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers, and this organization's buy in to the 2 stars, really 3 stars on this roster.
Listen, Gordon Dragic, right tonight, is like 25 off the Heat's bench, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's you need to find 30 off your bench, okay? Mm-hmm. And if you look at last night, they found that, right? Dwight Howard 14, okay, and obviously 6 for 7. That's huge. Obviously, he's not going to shoot, so he's going to have high percentage if he scores, okay? So that's always a plus. But then Shake struggled, but still at 10. And Furky had 9, if you want to talk about like meaningful. And Mike Scott added 6 there. So you're talking about you hitting that number. There's 4 guys, and you hit that number. Now, the way this works is Dwight's not going to do that on a nightly basis anymore, okay? So can Mike Scott bring you double digits? Or, can he hit 3 threes and give you 9? Can Furky stay consistent enough around his double digits? And Shake, usually the double-digit guy. So right there, you're talking about that 30. Right? This is better than it was last year. That's the thing already. It's better. That's why we're a better basketball team. Like everybody gets that, right? Like I know you guys do. But that's why we're better, because we're getting that production from Shake. When Shake was out, we lost that production. We weren't as good of a team, right? And now Mike Scott playing better. Furky started the other night, but obviously better when he comes off the bench. I'll take 9 from him. I don't even know what he shot. 3 for 7. I don't give a fuck. 2 for 5 from 3. I'll take it. I'll take it and go to bed. Like that's perfect. That's enough. That's enough. Give me 9, 10 points. And if you have one of your nights where you go off for a 20 plus a 20 spot and more, then we'll take that too. But we're not going to expect that nightly, right? So that's where Shake has to give this team 15 a night off the bench easily, All right, and he's got to get better. He's got to get better off the bench, like consistency wise, right? Mm-hmm. Like 4 for 13. That's a struggle, a little bit of a struggle bus. Okay, but I'll give it to him just coming back. All right, but that's going to be your 3 now, and then obviously you got to consider Thibault in there, but he just, if he gives you anything, that's a win. So you're looking for one more guy maybe, right? And then come playoff time, though, you're shrinking that to 3, 4 guys anyway.
Yeah.
So it's tough to say that like somebody's really got to be worth it, buyout-wise, etc., to like take a spot of one of these guys right now. It just depends if names come available.
And Mark, Doc has been saying all season it's going to be 8 unless his bench is friggin' loaded. So it's, to Tom's point, it's really going to shrink. It's really going to shrink come playoff time. It's going to be built around the stars, and then you talk about depth. So I think that's huge.
I think it's all going to depend on what happens at the deadline, who's available, who we could get, whether it's trade or buyouts. Because if we stand pat and we maybe add one guy, you're probably looking at 8. If you do something splashy, maybe it expands a little bit. Mm-hmm. I've seen some people compare the Kyle Lowry trade to Tobias Harris, and I can kind of see where they're coming from with that. But Tobias is much younger. Like, this isn't like a Tobias Harris type trade to where you're giving up first and everything. You'll give up something if you're gonna try and trade for Kyle Lowry. It's gonna be a fair trade. Like, you're giving up some pieces and maybe a pick, and I'm not giving up anything like sexy. You know what I mean? You don't need anything sexy. Like, you need substance. Like, style is nice. I just need a little substance off my bench. You'll have
nothing if you trade for Kyle Lowry right now. Like, you'll have nothing off your bench if they want what they want. Right, like trading for anybody is going to leave your bench depleted. So, to me,
I don't need Lowry.
They've done it though. Like, they have this sample size of doing it. They did it. They messed up. Okay, not messed up, but they didn't get to where they wanted to get to. So you're going to go back to it again? You know what I mean? That's the reason you didn't max 2 players that offseason. Or one didn't take it, obviously, but there was a reason you weren't maxing both of them guys. Right, guys? There was a reason for it. Mm-hmm. You're going to max one of the 2. Okay, so that's where, and then we're at where we're at now, because obviously we developed Shake to be better, right? But we're still missing that other consistent scorer off our bench, or Shake's got to take it to the next level, and be a guy who comes off your bench and give you 18 a night. And now you're really not in desperate mode for other bench guys. Right, we talked about this bench having a little bit of an identity, and they're starting to play better together. The more they play together, but I think we all agree. I mean, if there's the right name out there, then in the buyout market, you're obviously going to be going for it.
Who? This was one of my questions that I was going to bring up. So this is a perfect kind of segue into it. Out of these 3 players, who would you guys, and fam, chime in on this in the comments? Who would you say is most untouchable? Shake, Maxey, or Thibault?
It's a good one.
I would say Maxey, just because obviously we drafted him this year, but Shake's another good one too. It's close. It's really, really close. I think the only realistic one I think we would get rid of is Thibault, as much as that pains me because it takes such a hit on your defense. But I think if it's out of those 3, I think it would be Thibault.
I say Shake, just because he's just proven to be such an amazing player off the bench, and he has so much potential. His contract is little to nothing, and he can only get better. And you have 4 years of control with him. I really like Maxey and I really like Thibault, but I just feel like Shake helps. It's not that neither of them could help your team. Like Thibault helps your team immensely on defense, but he can't shoot for shit. Maxey has all the potential in the world, but he can't really find his footing on the ground right now. Mm-hmm. And at least with Shake, he's a subpar defender. He's okay, but he's a decent shooter. He can distribute the ball, and he can help get me 12 to 16 off the bench.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I would say Shake probably right now, and I love Maxey, but Maxey's going to get there. It's going to take him It's going to take him a little bit, but he'll get there. I don't want to trade any of them 3 young guys right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the most untouchable. I agree with Pete. It's definitely Shake, and I love the 2 other ones, but they're not per se untouchable. I don't want to deal either one of them. Honestly, I'm not going to deal them for guys over age 28. I'm just not. I
need a golden goose to trade even more than one.
Yeah, it's not crowning any of them. It's just that's
right.
Not doing it.
I just feel like they all help the team in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Daryl Morey talks so many times about saving his bullets and putting it in the back pocket. The bullets meaning assets. I don't know if it would, like I said, This is not because I know people, they already did it. They misconstrued and they thought, oh, you don't think Kyle Lowry's a good player? It's not about Kyle Lowry. It's given the situation of the type of player and the situation as far as contract, age, etc. I'm not sure if he's at the top of our pecking order as far as giving up all the bullets for him. I think you could do a lot better. And maybe doing a lot better is not doing anything at all. Like, that's the other thing, too, to Tom's point. Just because Daryl Morey is that guy and he has that reputation and it's been promoted and talked about that, oh, there's going to be a trade coming and it's going to be splashy because that's what he does. You don't have to do anything. Like, you don't have to. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like some people in this fan base, they're saying, oh, well, it's going to happen, so it's got to be Lowry or it's got to be Levine or it's got to be Buddy Hield. Mm-hmm. All those players would help the Sixers, absolutely. But you know what would also add? A lot of freaking risk that you didn't have with just having Shake on this roster or Maxey or Thibault. Like, the more trades you make, the better chance you're risking a lot because you're decreasing your assets both now and into the future, and you're putting a lot more into the asset of, hey, Kyle Lowry, who's on a 1-year contract at 34 years old. That's tough. And like I said, the Lowry thing, it's not just Green, Poirier, Scott, Thibault, and that's it. No, it's Green, friggin' Poirier, Scott, Ferguson, and like 2 picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot. And Maxey or Thibault or Shake. Like, that's the thing, guys. So, listen, I think we can in all agreement. If Lowry was here, I don't know if anyone would be mad per se, unless you gave up like 2 of those 3 that we just mentioned.
Right.
I'd be pissed.
Let's, like we've said so many times, let's see how this buyout market's going to shape out. Let's see how Mike Scott and let's see how, some of the bench guys do over the next handful of weeks before the deadline is actually here. Because we've got Ben Simmons who's playing phenomenal right now, and he's looking as confident as ever. I don't need to say anything about Joel Embiid because we all know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Tobias Harris looks great.
Embiid.
And then you've got 2 role players, and then you've got Shake Milton. And then obviously Dwight Howard who does his job. So if you can add to that, get a little bit more size, maybe another point guard here or there, you're in a really good spot.
Yeah, and like I'm not going to throw my nose up to Kyle Lowry. Like I think he makes us a better team for sure. You know what I mean? It's hard to say he doesn't in the moment, right? But like, what does he do for us next year?
Right.
He's 36. What does he do for us when he's 37? What are them guys doing in the league in 2 years, right? And that's the sort of unknown that you have. Now, if you believe that that them guys aren't going to pan out to be them guys, then maybe you do make these types of moves. You know what I mean? So it all depends on how this organization feels about Matisse, Maxey. Obviously, they drafted him, but Jake, Danny Green, if they even want to move him. You know what I mean? Everybody talked about moving Danny Green from Jump Street, and I'm like, they fucking signed him. Like, they signed him. Like, he wasn't signed previously. They signed him. You know what I mean? Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers, them guys brought Danny Green here. It's like they brought Dwight Howard here. They signed them guys. So I didn't expect them. I don't expect them to be moving on from them 2 guys. Like, they were signed for a reason. So now that's why I was so sold on the buyout market from the beginning. Because I don't think you're not signing guys and then, you know what I mean? You're just not doing that to a team that's winning. Like, you guys can disagree with me, but you're not doing that to a team that's winning. If you're 4th or 5th in the Eastern Conference, then maybe it's a conversation like, okay, maybe these signings aren't working out. But both you guys, you brought veteran guys in here who have helped, who contributed to your success, right? Not being main guys. So, you know what I mean? It's almost like the same conversation, like, not to this level of like Ben and Joe. Like, no, they came here for Ben and Joe, right? They came here for these guys. But these 2 guys, they specifically signed here. That doesn't mean guys never get moved, but usually they do if you're not one playing up to expectations as a team and as players.
I agree with 99.999% of what you said.
It should be 100 on this one.
No, the only thing I disagree with is
there's no little percentage left.
No, there is. They didn't sign Danny Green.
Who signed?
Who
signed Danny Green then?
We traded for him.
Oklahoma City. That was in the Al Horford contract, and the only reason why.
But we traded for him.
Yeah, and I think again he's not.
Okay, he's traded, signed. He's still wet.
No, but No, I'm not spinning anything. The reason why I would say I would disagree with you is because I don't believe Danny Green comes here because he's Danny Green. I think it's, hey, who's going to give us the most for Danny or for Al Horford? Let's get a young guy in Ferguson. Let's get a guy in Danny Green who we had interest in 2 years ago when he signed with the Lakers. And it's like, okay, he also has a $15 million, money kind of pool to where we can then spin him into trades later, especially because Daryl Morey didn't like coming in here. His biggest thing in the introductory press conference was that he had a lot of level contracts and Simmons, Joel, and Tobias. Then there was a big gap between like the $30 million contracts and like the $5 million. He said adding a guy like Danny Green, who's $15 million, can help you out in trade packages if you need it.
Yeah, but
he was saying that was the biggest bullet of the offseason, not just because Danny Green can give you a lot as far as veteran leadership, championship experience, etc., but because that $15 million could be huge in a package type deal for a Lowry or other player, for example. So that's the only thing I disagree with.
Yeah, well, if you weren't number one team in the Eastern Conference, I agree with you. Sure. But your number one team, your number one team in the East. He's giving you production. You're starting five that's played incredible together. So, to me, it's boneheaded. It's boneheaded to break that up, and then bring in and try to get other guys' chemistry together. You know what I mean? Now you're gonna have a new starting five. You want to gain chemistry all over again. We sort of did that, and it didn't get us to where we wanted to get to. You know what I mean? Like the splash just never seems to get teams where they want to get to, like in-season splashes, right? Mm-hmm. It never seems to work. Like the big ones, it's always like them lesser names that you don't have to give up anything for.
Yeah. If I'm getting rid of Danny Green, there has to be a reason. Like a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason. Like, look, you don't think he's the greatest defender, that's fine. You don't think he's the greatest three-point shooter, fine. Like, he's a serviceable defender. He gives you 37% from three, and he's going to give you 8 to 11 points as a starter. Like, is what it is. Like, would I like someone better than Danny Green? Of course I would. Go find me him. Otherwise, he's my guy, and I'm riding with him for the rest of the year. Like, if I'm getting rid of Danny Green, I need someone who's better than Danny Green. I'm not trading him just to trade him, because not only am I hurting the team by probably bringing a lesser defender and someone who might not be as good from three, I'm also screwing with team chemistry, and I'm not about to go do that. If I'm getting rid of Danny Green, I need to go out and get someone who is going to be a massively better defender, possibly cheaper, better from three, and can help with my team chemistry.
Or if we drop big time, if we're playing shitty basketball leading up to the deadline, then the conversation, like everything moves and changes as it goes, right? Like I'm a big believer in that. Like, anything can change, right? Anything can change, but right now you're playing extremely good basketball, and if you drop and you're losing 6 out of 10 games or whatever, you know what I mean? You lose 7 out of 10, and these guys aren't producing. Then obviously it opens things up. The reason he made so many deals in Houston is they just never got there. They were trying to get there. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big part of why they're always moving and fucking shaking in Houston. You know what I mean? Because they were trying to get there. And every year they would come up short and then try to figure out a way, how do we get here the next year? You know what I mean? So they almost move and shake too much, I felt like, instead of keeping some things together. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, they should have kept Clint Capella. I didn't agree with that. Like, Daryl Morey made bad moves there too, in my opinion. So he's not perfect by any stretch. I love Daryl Morey, but he's not perfect. I just don't think he's going to mess with his starting five. I'm going to stand by that until they don't play well together. Like, if they go on a fucking slide, then obviously he's going to mess with it. But when you're playing at this rate, what are they, 15-2 together?
Something like that, yeah.
I think so. And I think Doc Rivers, I mean, we've heard all the reports, we've read it, that, Daryl all throughout the season has gone to him with possible moves like, oh, how about this? And Doc not just talked him off the ledge, but to our point going all the way back to before the season, I don't know if Doc Rivers is excited to get, a new revamped type of splash move in here, because Doc Rivers says every single night that he has a long way to go with this roster, that they even haven't even scratched the surface with this roster. So I don't know if it's one player, it's not going to revamp the entire thing.
Right.
But it's not like even Doc Rivers is saying, oh, well, this is the finished product. No. He's saying, listen, what we've seen has been good. It's a good stepping stone, but we have a lot further to go.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Doc Rivers and I see that and I see the potential of what Simmons has been doing, Joel, etc., if there's a move out there that they just can't refuse, then you take it because you don't want to be a bad GM. But I wouldn't also be somebody that's going to chase the move just to make a move.
Don't do stupid money just to do stupid money.
Yeah, like I'm not doing this straight. Like Raptors get Seth Curry, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, Tony Bradley for Kyle Lowry. No.
Yeah, no.
I'm out.
No shot.
Wait, Seth and Danny? Seth and Danny? No.
Yeah,
I hang up, fall back, and then hang up again.
Wait, I'm sorry, Tom. It's Danny, Seth, Thybulle, and Tony Bradley?
Yeah.
No.
So what the hell does that starting five look like? Because, okay, Lowry would go in, but then if you got rid of Danny, it would have had to have been Thybulle, but Thybulle was going in the deal. So what's that five look like?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even. And that's first off, who said that trade? Because that's not even a realistic trade because it involves no picks.
No,
they're going to want picks.
No, it's just one of the numerous ones that float around. So they're all bullshit. But
so what? So what is like Furkan your new your small forward in that trade?
It would have to be Furkan. Furkan would be a starter. We cool with that, everyone?
No.
Nah, a playoff game with Furkan starting, I'm good.
That's a lunatic trade.
Combined are going to give me his numbers around there. So and we're winning. So no, you know what I mean? No, and I stand on the hill again with it. Nope, not doing it. Not enough. I like Terrence Ross. I like the Evan Fournier conversation, but like we should have been getting one of them from Markel. You know what I mean? Like we should have already had one of them. Fournier, DJ Augustine back in it, whoever, somebody there besides Jonathan Simmons should have been coming back. So I don't even know if I want to answer that call, but I'm all for. Listen, I'm all for a Terrence Ross. I'm all for an Evan Fournier. And I think I would be willing to give up a little bit more for either one of them because they're going to come in here and they're going to score. You know what I mean? Both are going to score. So, but then what are you giving up? Like he said, Terrence Ross and James Ennis returns for Green, Ferguson, a first and a second. Yeah, I think I have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that in 2 seconds. Yeah,
it's not even a question.
And I like Danny Green, but that's one I have to do because Ross I like. If Ross is stroking, watch out. James Ennis brings some toughness, so we'll take him off our bench. We know what he brings. I don't hate him. You know what I mean? We can use more toughness off our pine. Totally fine with it. And we're not getting killed on our bench, right? So we're like staying intact, starting five-wise in a way, right? We're only making one adjustment there, okay? And we're not losing anything. We're actually gaining a better player in Ennis and Ferguson. We're just losing picks.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it.
James Ennis in the Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, like that team, that playoff team. James Ennis was our second best player.
I know, right?
Who's Jimmy Butler and James Ennis? That were like the best two players at one point.
It's so funny that happened.
Horrifying, also funny and horrifying.
Yeah, John, we got to get to the point where buyouts happen. We're not there yet. We're there with one guy who got bought out, DeMarcus Cousins. Would I like DeMarcus? Yes. Am I clamoring? Do I need it? No. I don't need it. I think there's going to be other guys out there that are going to be more of a 3-4, right? And a little more athletic at this point than DeMarcus Cousins. You know what I mean, I'm big enough. I don't need Cousins.
Who would you rather have, Blake Griffin or DeMarcus?
Blake Griffin.
Blake.
Griffin because he's a better shooter, and I when I look at Cousins, all I think to myself is, when's the injury coming?
Mm-hmm.
Impending ACL injury.
Yeah,
it's like with Kevin Durant right now. Like he's playing amazing, but it's just like every 6 days there's some new injury with him.
Right.
Because remember, he's out for the All-Star game. For some calf thing or whatever.
Right.
You don't Lord, you like Ennis better than Danny Green? No, I can't do that. You can't do it. Let's go. Come on. Who said that?
That's awful.
That's not a go one. Let's go. Pop says Ross from Orlando would be nice. He would be.
Shoot 35% from 3, Tom.
35.
Yeah, 35, 36.
Yeah, way more of a volume guy too. I mean, he's going to shoot more than Danny. So, that percentage might be a little bit lower than Danny's because he'll shoot a little bit more.
Not by much. Green's at 37 right now, and what's his name? Ross is at 35.3.
35. What's his difference average? I mean, he's way more athletic. I mean, he'll get to the rim more too. Well, he can. He doesn't really do that too often, but he's way more athletic than Danny Green. Now, I don't think he's good at the defender at all.
The trade works, by the way. Lord's trade works. I just wanted to make sure the money works. That way, we weren't talking like an unrealistic trade. The money works with the Terrence Ross.
What's his name, May?
Terrence Ross?
Yeah.
13.5. 3 year deal too. We would have him for
their
2 more years.
usage is pretty similar too. I think you're off by like half a minute or so in terms of their usage. I think
yes, one's nights there. Now, the only problem is, I mean, listen, you become better immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, you become better. I mean, you're getting a guy
the last 2 years.
Getting a guy's going to average 15 a night. Pretty consistently. I mean, he can be a hot or cold guy too. Remember this, like I guess the Knicks, he went off for 30, 10 for 16. Like he has, the only, let's see, out of the stretch, he had the 10-game stretch. He only scored less than 13 one time, and he scored 5 against the Nets. He was 1 for 9. But besides that, he's pretty fucking, when you look at the consistency side of it, it's 13, 22, 20, 18, 23, 30, 24, 17, 13. Pretty consistent. Pretty consistent numbers.
Philly sports passion. And Fournier, I swapped Fournier in for Ross, and that also works.
Fournier might be better. Fournier is better.
Yes, but, absolutely.
I do like Ross. I like both of them guys. I always have. I've liked their wing guys for a minute because every time we go there, they don't stop missing.
No.
Listen, if you're watching over on YouTube, do us a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, enjoy the conversation, fire in your comments. There's like 50 people watching, only 23 likes. Let's go. Hound it out, get it out there. We're going to be talking Phillies. We're going to get our callers in. We're going to talk some Carter Hart. And I'm sure callers are going to talk about Eagles bullshit. So we'll leave it to the callers. And in about 20 minutes, we'll open them lines up and we'll get that conversation going. I know we want to talk some Phillies here as well and dive into Phillies since we just went a little bit over an hour on the Sixers. So, and that was fun. We talked Ben Simmons, all of us agreeing on him being a first-team all-defender. Pete agreeing with the poll on Ben Simmons is the best defender in the NBA. Pete agreed. I know some family agreed. Us three disagreed to that, but not a knock on him. Just more something he has to go and beat out the guy who's won it a couple times now. So, which I absolutely think he can.
Before we go to Phillies real quick, can I ask one other question related to NBA, Tom?
Yeah, shoot.
Based off of this, I want to get the fams' take on this too. I want to see if there's any interesting names. Who do you think the biggest NBA name will be that gets moved by the deadline? Who will be the biggest name traded?
Good one. Ooh, that's a good one.
I'll just give mine. I'm going to Marcus Aldridge.
Ooh, that's actually a good one.
Forgot he even played there.
Most people have.
Give me a guy we were talking about. Give me Kyle Lowry.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Yep. I obviously want to move him. I don't know why. Basketball doesn't make fucking sense.
Draymond.
No, that's an interesting one.
Draymond? Jake? Is that what you said?
No, Yusuf
Khan said Draymond.
Oh,
Draymond.
Oh, that's a guy. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know about that.
Sports passion. You know my thoughts on this. I've been saying it for a year.
Yeah, I don't think so right now. I mean, he had a really good game tonight. That looks better. Like they need him, man.
Oh, Drummond's is gone.
They need him. They truly fucking need him. I hate to say it. I want the Celtics to fucking burn, but they need him. They really should do because he carried them tonight. You know, Tatum was 4 for 18, right? Struggled, only 9 points tonight, okay? In 38 minutes. All right. Kemba 10 for 19 tonight. Fucking big time efficiency, 32. And Jaylen Brown only had 15. So they don't win tonight without Kemba Walker. Like, they need him to be the team they want to be. And his knee is finally starting to, for Celtics fans, finally starting to look like it's getting back, right? Mm-hmm. You look like he had a little more hop tonight. So not a good thing for us. But I think if they're not in it right, if they're out of the playoffs when that time comes, I believe that they will be shopping him heavily. If they're in this mix, right, they can't be almost because they another one, you tied your cart to it. You tied your cart to it. You let Kyrie go, and you went and got Kemba, which is a smart move. The knee has hurt you in this deal right now. But if they're in the playoff conversation, anywhere from 8 up, I don't think they move them.
I hear you. I just have a feeling that Danny Ainge is going to panic, and they're going to try and get size. And the two names that come to mind that Kemba could go in is a Vucevic trade where Kemba goes, and it wouldn't be 1 for 1. I'm just saying it would be the bulk of it. Where Vucevic would end up going to Boston, Kemba would end up going to Orlando, or I could see Kemba going to OKC and the Celtics getting George Hill and Mr. Al Horford back. Yeah,
I don't think that makes them better, though. Like, that's the problem. Like, I know what everybody's saying about the big guy. Like, okay, Daniel Tice played great tonight. I mean, for Daniel Tice, that's 17 tonight. Right? Kemba got him involved big time tonight. All right, now I know they're rebounding, but they're big enough. Like, they're you know what I mean? They're with Tristan, when you talk about Tristan Thompson, Tatum, Brown, right? Tice, they're athletic enough, though. Right? They're without Marcus Smart now, too, which isn't a big man, but they're without Marcus Smart as well. That's a good basketball team, man. Like, I don't think they're in panic mode. Like, they're in panic mode almost if they don't make the playoffs right now. That's when they're in panic mode. Tonight's a huge win for the Celtics. Like, you talk about a must win. It's a huge win for the Boston Celtics tonight. You talk about treading water because you talk about bench play. Without Marcus Smart, they're not the same fucking team. As soon as he comes back, they're a different basketball team. So I know what everybody's saying about the big men, but why can't they be in the same conversation in the buyout game as a lot of other teams are? You know what I mean? So they could be in that conversation too without making that big move. They could be. Instead of going for, like, because you're trading, instead of trading a guard for a big man, right? You could just be in that buyout market as well. Or that low trade market, right? Where it's, say Boogie didn't get bought out. Like that kind of like low level type deal. Boogie might even be an option for them too. They're not, you guys not you guys. People are underestimating their size. I mean, Tristan Thompson is playing their fucking 4. I mean, I know he's only 6'8", but 6'9", but he don't act like he doesn't play like he's a 6'11" guy, usually.
And to your point, the lower level, sneakier moves, the non-splash moves, like I talked about, like trading Kemba, moves like signing or just getting Drummond, for example, or Boogie Cousins, or Blake Griffin. You know what I'm saying? Like moves like that to where you don't have to give another team an arm and a leg. You can just be like, okay, we're going to acquire an asset here, maybe throw a young player if it needs to be a trade, if not, just get them via buyout. So that's definitely in the cards for them too. And to your point, if they start crawling back up the standings, I think they were 10th as of last night in the Eastern Conference standings, and that really doesn't matter because number one, it's still really early, and 2, everyone's kind of bunched. You know what I'm saying? To where a team could win a game and they can go from 10th to the friggin' 6th. That's the way it kind of is in the Eastern Conference with the standings. Yeah. But to your point, if they go on a little bit of a run, they play better basketball for, let's say, the next 10 games before the deadline, they might not, and Kemba's playing good basketball, I can absolutely them saying, okay, we're going to build off of what we have and just focus on getting a Boogie or, a Drummond or a couple of, I mean, there's a million guys out there that we're not even thinking of. No, they're lower level guys. LaMarcus being another one. You know what I'm saying? I know they tried getting LaMarcus last season.
They have like $28.5 million mid-level exceptions. They'll get a player or two. Yeah, I know the biggest guy on the roster is Tristan Thompson at 6'9". To go with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum at 6'9". So Thompson and Tatum are their two biggest guys at 6'9". But both Tatum and Tice play bigger than 6'9", in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, they don't play like big 7-footers, but they still play bigger. And I think when you have 3 6'9" guys in your lineup, you're pretty long. And that's not including Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? Who's 6'6". Like, you're long, you're athletic enough. Yeah, could they use a rim protector? Yeah, they could. They could. I mean, they're in the market for a 7-footer, right? 6'11" guy. That's what they're in the market for. And I don't think they have to give up Kemba to get that, to get what they're looking for, right? Especially if it's not as a starter, right? They have a good bench, too. When you talk about Teague and Marcus Smart coming off your bench, they got a good bench. Celtics are still a good team that if they get a big man of some sort, they can battle with Embiid, and they become a concern again.
I agree.
But no, they're not a fucking concern to me. They're concerned to teams like Indiana because Indiana ain't big enough. So now you're talking about two teams that are like the same fucking size. You know what I mean? So that's where guys like Tice can look good tonight. Because who's the big rim protector there? Miles Turner? He ain't fucking in it. Like to me, Miles Turner is 7'1", or to me, he's another. What's Miles Turner? 6'10", 6'11".
I want to say he's 6'9" too. Because when I hear Miles Turner, I don't think big guy. Like he's big, but you know what I'm saying. But like in retrospect, I don't think he's a
Joe. Yeah, I don't think Joe and like Jokic. Right, I don't think them guys when I think of him. Somebody said Walker to Chi-Town. Like I would hear you, but why would Chicago do that?
Chicago's not making any move. Chicago's a playoff team right now.
Yeah, why would Chicago get rid of Carter? First of all, get rid of Carter, fine. Get rid of White, you'd be a jacket.
No way. White's going to be the friggin' replacement when they finally get rid of Levine.
If they even ever do.
Exactly.
Like that's not a guarantee. We talked about them moves from Chicago when and listen, I'm very critical of Zach LaVine and winning games. But I'll be the first to say, guess what? You're starting to win games and play better basketball. Now them numbers aren't just gaudy numbers. You understand? They become winning numbers, right? Not there yet. But definitely, I'm an honest guy. It's about winning, right? Your numbers are just gaudy numbers unless you're winning. It's that fucking simple. When there's 8 teams that make the playoffs and you're never in it, but you're averaging 25 a game, it's just gaudy numbers to me. But if you can start getting your team in there, then numbers change from gaudy to real numbers. The NBA can lie to people, man. The NBA can lie to you and lie right to your fucking faces about shit.
Jake, you know what this is setting up for, right? It's setting up for a first-round matchup of Sixers Chicago in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Good. Fucking we'll sweep them.
By the way, we'll sweep them. We'll sweep them.
Absolute sweep.
There's Iggy flashbacks.
They are better, though. I mean, that's another reason why they have a better record. Not because of him. Like, White's better. Carter's better.
They also have a better coach.
They're better. They're a better basketball team than they were in years past.
Mm-hmm.
And Levine's not like he's fucking 30. You know what I mean? Like, he's still a younger guy.
What is he, 26, 27?
Right in that area where you got to start winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm Chicago, I ain't touching a thing. I'm almost looking to add. What can I add? What do I need? There's a lot of teams that are going to be looking to add and need. So that's why I think it's so important to the Sixers to be that 1 seed by the time the deadline comes and the buyouts happen, because you want to be a destination. So I need the Sixers 1, 2, at worst 3. Like, they got to be right in there to be that destination. But I think with Doc, Morey, Joe, Ben, Tobias, I think guys are going to want to come play here. Dwight, Danny. I think them guys make guys want to come play here. And Seth, like, I think that does that for players, right? Because you got a lot of basketball guys here, if you think about it, especially veteran-wise, and Danny, Dwight, and even Seth. Like, I mean, you got basketball guys. So I think that's enticing the players, too, when they're looking on where they want to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was the last Sixers one, right?
That's all I got. Yep, that's all I got.
Yep. All right. Right, and that's when they start winning, right around this age. This is when they get, we hold them a little more. We hold them to a higher standard now at this age. Phillies playoff hopes. Is that a realistic possibility? Now we talk about a division that's way better division. Okay. And where does this team even stand in this division? Better yet, being a playoff team. Now, we're a better baseball team as well. Okay? We are. I think lineup wise, we should hit with everybody, if not maybe be the best lineup in this division. We're in the conversation, right? I think it's still us in Atlanta in terms of best lineups. The Mets lineup's obviously 100 times better with Lindor added in it, but they saw some holes where the Braves don't really have holes and we really don't have holes lineup wise. All right. So I look at us two, we can both pound it. All right. You know what your 1, 2, and 3 are rotation wise. All right. You know, you got Archie Bradley, and you know, you got a lot more vet arms in camp than you did even a year ago. So I'm going to be really interested to see what comes out of camp arm wise and what this bullpen looks like. But right now, when you're just talking about Noah, Wheeler, and knowing your pen's better already, listen, we just needed outs last year. If we can figure out a way to lock all windows and doors and get them last 3 outs, I think this team is a playoff team. They're a fringe one, the total fringe, and the way baseball is like that's how it works. Like, you know what I mean? So that team you don't think might not make it, and they creep in, right? And they're in win now mode, which is done by this owner, obviously spending money, right? And Dave Dombrowski. So with them, with knowing this lineup and knowing who the general manager is right now, all right, I have all the confidence in the world that this team's going to be a playoff team. So unless they're like crushed by fucking injuries, obviously, you know what I mean? Like Harper's out for 100 games, and then it stop the conversation.
So I'll ask you I'll ask you this. So I have 4 teams, really 5, but it's on the fringe with the 5th team. I'll just say, do you believe? I'll just name them, and you tell me if you agree. Teams that you know today are better than the Phillies. We can comfortably say the Dodgers, obviously, better than the Phillies.
Yep.
Padres.
Yeah,
I would say absolutely.
Yep.
The Braves. Yes.
Yes.
and
That's a tough one there. That's the tough one because that's the one. That's the one I'm not 100% that they're better. It's close. I'll give them the nod because they've been to the dance and we haven't. So they'll get the nod as of right now. Yes.
Mets.
No,
No.
not right now.
Okay. And the last team, Cardinals.
No.
Yes.
I would say yes.
Yes.
So we have
I had the best third baseman in baseball.
Yeah, it's
I get that.
Yeah, no, they're loaded.
yeah.
And he hits everywhere, by the way. So he's just not. I break balls about it, but Arenado hits everywhere. He's just not a Coors Field hitter. Like so, like people need to understand that one too. He'll be fine. I mean, it's a guy who's fucking walking 300. Great fucking defender, best defender in the league, best third base defender in the league. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, I would say them 4 teams are better.
Is there another team I'm missing? Because right now I have the Phillies 5th or 6th in the NL.
Yeah, I think they're a playoff team, honestly. Because when everything was rolling last year, they were pumping out between 5.5 to 6 runs a game, and by the time things went off the rails with the Rhys Hoskins and the JT Realmuto injuries, they still ended up being, I think, the 7th highest ranking runs per game team. You're a better team to start this season.
What else do we have, Pete? I don't even talk about. A lot of us don't. That it was a man crush last year. Joe Girardi's here too.
Oh God,
we don't mention that as much.
I love Joe.
So we'll just make sure we're not missing a team. So we would comfortably say we're better than the Nationals, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking should be.
Yeah, I mean we better be. Miami.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
Miami. I mean, we should be.
So we would say right now we're kind of 50-50 on, us and the Braves, but we would comfortably say the Mets are better than us. So we're what, 2nd or 3rd in our division, which again,
comfortably. I mean, I want to say we're comfortably better than the Mets. I would say like us 2 teams are right there. Like I think the Mets and us are right there. Like which one's gonna be more consistent? Because both had holes last year in different ways, right? So and especially when it comes to the staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to be more consistent? Like, who's 1 and 2 are going to be there all year? Like, is Syndergaard going to be, what are they going to be outside the DeGrom? You know what I mean? So they have question marks. Lindor may be better, but they have question marks.
Is Syndergaard ever there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As my Mets buddy would say, no.
Yeah, but you're right, Tom. I mean, if they finally, and I say finally, put all the pieces together, and they're not, if they don't burst into flames like they do every year, they're going to be a very, very fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Then you go to the Central Cubs.
No.
Would you take us over the Cubs?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
St. Louis, they're better. Cincinnati.
No, I'll take us over Cincinnati, but they can hit.
Yes.
But I'll take us over Cincinnati.
Yeah, I like us over Cincy.
Yeah, me too.
And I think we both agree we're better than Milwaukee and definitely Pittsburgh.
Yes.
All day.
And fam, just so you know, we're talking about currently constructed because I know a lot of us, especially Tom and I, we talked about it on Wednesday. We're absolutely expecting Dombrowski to make a handful of moves and maybe a splashy type move as far as the starting pitching.
Yeah, don't be surprised if the Brewers are good.
Yeah.
Well, they've got Yelich, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's special.
You think we'll be in on a Druzy? Because I've heard that name for the last 3 weeks, and it went away, and then it recently came back up that per John Heyman that we've been in contact with him and his agent.
Yeah, they were checking in just to kind of get a price on him. I think that's really what it was.
I feel like the fact that he's still available this late in the game makes me wonder how low his price actually is right now.
I'd love to have him.
Yeah, I mean, you get a Druzy and your starting rotation is just that much better, and it eliminates the chance of you ever having to watch Vince Velasquez ever pitch in the Phillies uniform.
Yeah, well, that's what it does to you too. Like we always talk about, like some of these veterans that you brought in, Matt Moores and whatever, right? They can go to your pen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Take these guys to your pen, and now your pen's got like at least veteran arms back there and guys you can trust. Like if this team can get fucking outs and this team can find another, even if it's find another starter, right? Find another starter. This team's going to be a fucking problem for people. I'm telling you. Like I'm not. This isn't pom time. I've been heavily critical of this organization and the things that they've done over the last 8 fucking plus years. Okay, heavily critical of this organization. All right, but I'll tell you, I stand by this. This team can hit with anybody. Who do you want to hit with? You want to hit with the Dodgers? They can hit with the fucking Dodgers. You want to hit with the Padres? They can hit with the Padres. They can hit with them. I'm not saying their lineups are at the same level as them, right? But it is in a way. I mean, you got star power in this lineup too. Now,
one of the best hitting lineups in the league.
If Bryce Harper hits at an MVP level, it's over. This lineup was. So I mean, a lot's riding on him. But this lineup showed last year it can hit. Now, granted, not as big of a sample size, but I would think 162, warm weather, let's go. I mean, I think we're going to hit, and I think 162 allows you to figure out your pen with baseball guys, right? With baseball guys, it allows you to figure out your problems better over 162 than it does in the shortened season. So, I mean, I think we can all agree there. That's not Matt Quintac off the hook. He's an idiot. But I'm just saying, like
duct tape guys out there last year.
Yeah. This gives you a little more flexibility to do some things. Listen, I'm not like overly excited about this team because the outs are still concerning. The outs outside of Wheeler, Nola, maybe Eflin. Where am I getting outs from? Like Archie Bradley, sure, but like, I'm still up in the air there. But I believe they're gonna fucking mash the baseball. I believe they're going to give teams problems, and I believe if Nola and Wheeler can throw to can pitch to their abilities, right? To their abilities, both being top 15 guys in the league, right? That's where they both got to be. All right, this team can be a fucking issue for people, and I don't even care about Hoskins. When I talk about this, I don't even talk about Hoskins because I don't even give a fucking shit about Reese Hoskins, Babe Ruth, a guy called Babe Ruth. All right, everybody crowned him. I don't care because the lineup is loaded without him. He helped.
you and I have been very clear on what we think the end result for Hoskins is going to be in a Phillies uniform. You know what I'm saying? We're not even – if he plays well, he plays well. You know, that's awesome. Nobody's going to be mad. But
I don't even think we only need elite stuff from Hoskins. He just – as long as he continues being what he is, you're fine.
30 home runs. And
you get 25 to 30 home runs from him at least
90 plus.
Yep.
It's RBI home run numbers, and I'll settle for a good on base percentage depending on where he's at. Like Rhys Hoskins to me is not a 4 or 5 guy. He's just not. He's too selective, which is fine. He's a patient hitter. Put him in the fucking 2-hole then, and let him walk a shit ton then. Let him walk a shit ton. Don't lead him off. That's horse shit. Lead off clutch. Bat him in the 2. Drop Didi to the 5.
I'm completely fine with that. That's actually a really great idea, Tom.
Segura can be your 6. You're fucking gonna hit. You're gonna fucking hit. Or even Didi can be 5. Bomb can be 6. Segura can be 7. You don't got to put Alec Bomb in a tough spot. Yeah. This is a flexibility. Let him start off the year batting in the 6 hole. If he fucking flat out rakes, then you can always move him up. It's 162. You don't got to be missionary. But at the end of the day, put the guy who walks in a position of walk that. If he's not going to hit me fucking 45, then you're in the 2-hole, honey, because that's how it's going to go, Reese. That's how it's going to go. And Scott Kingery shouldn't touch the fucking field. All right? If Scott Kingery touches this field more than once a week, I'm going to square people to fuck up. And if I hear COVID again as an excuse for stinking, I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
No, this is, for me, this is his... For me and Kingery, like I want him to succeed. I want him to be the Scotty Jetpacks everyone tried to sell me on. Like, I'm willing to give him last year. I'm willing to give him last year with the COVID and all the injuries. But the last year. I'm heading into the 2021 season with a clean slate with Scott Kingery. All right, show me something. Show me that guy that everyone tried to sell me on. Show me your Scotty Jetpacks. Because you don't have COVID anymore. You're completely healthy. Your back's fine. Your neck's okay. Your elbow's good. Like, come on, show me something. And can somebody please explain this to me? How everyone and their mother, when they were doing the roster lineups, they're putting him in center field.
Who?
They're putting Kingery in center field over Adam Hazlett. Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Like if you're looking at like Fangraph, right? Fangraph has him in the 8-hole playing center. And they have Hazley and Quinn on the bench, which is
not even just him though. Like I'm seeing like big baseball people put him in center field, and I'm just like, what are you seeing? Like you can love or hate Adam Hazley when he gets consistent base. Like last year, I was going over his numbers. When he gets consistent playing time of 3 or more at bats a game, you're looking at a 300 hitter. Like
go real quick. Here you go. Somebody asked about the bullpen, right? So that's who you got. So you're gonna have Hector Neris, Archie Bradley,
Alvarado.
You're gonna have Kinsler. You're gonna have probably Tony Watson. You're gonna have Connor Brogdon.
JoJo.
You have JoJo Romero. You have Chase Anderson, probably as long relief guy.
Possibly
David Hale. So that's what you're looking like projected right now. A long way to go there. All right. But again, you got a bunch of guys sitting in the force. You know what I mean? You got a bunch of kittens besides Archie and Alvarado. Now, Kinsler can get outs. Okay. I like Kinsler, but
yeah, he was nice in Atlanta.
Is Neris better? Like, this is the question. Like, does Neris become better in a setup role?
Yes.
I say yes because he knows his role.
So that's where it's gonna be really important. Like Archie, your closer, okay. Neris in your setup role. Now you might not even do that because Kinsler's more of a setup guy. That's sort of his MO. So if Neris isn't getting done, you actually have the flexibility to put him there. You have more flexibility than you did last year. This isn't crowning this bullpen at all. But I mean, it's not hard to say it's better. It's really not. Like you just have to make minor adjustments to be better. Yeah. It's actually guys you fucking know. Last year's rollout was the biggest disgrace in baseball history. That bullpen, that last spring training is fucking horse shit. And we did it on the air, and I said, I consider myself a baseball guy. I said, who the fuck are these guys?
I think
we had the second worst bullpen in Major League Baseball history last year.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how close this team was to being a playoff team. One game, by the way. One game. With the
bullpen gave up like 9.
With the second worst bullpen in the history of football. So you look at that. When we talk about not our excitement for the bullpen, but to your point, Tom, if anyone thinks you're crowning this bullpen, they're not paying attention, because we're talking about building off of last season, how close we were. How close we were. Like to Mike Grimm's point, just get us to the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be 10 years since we've been in the playoffs, right? 10 years?
Yep.
We were one game away, because we had to win one game out of that last 6, and we didn't do it because of the friggin' bullpen, right? We were that close with a historically awful bullpen. We're not saying that this bullpen constructed is a top 10, top 15, top 20 bullpen. But we know for a fact, just based off of freaking common sense, that it's better than it was last year. So if you put all that into one, you say, okay, now you have a full offseason, full roster, spring training, and it's a better bullpen, and you would think a better starting pitching situation and a better general manager that's going to get you the job done.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're more confident. Not because we made any splashy moves, not because we're crowning the Kingreys or the Hoskins. It's because we were that friggin' close.
Yep.
That close.
I don't think people understand how bad that bullpen was. Like, you didn't even make it. I don't even think you made it 20 games with that bullpen, all of them staying together. Like, at one point, like, I think I was going through just the guys who were on opening day, like ranking everything. I think your ERA was like an 8.50 or something ridiculous like that. I think like in the first 20 games, you were looking at like 65 plus runs they've given up with like a 10.50 ERA or something ridiculous like that. It was atrocious.
Is there a stat, and if so, Jake, can you find this for me? Is there a stat where you can find out like what the average amount of runs we scored a game?
Yeah,
last year, because I can
do it per. There was one site that does it per inning.
We were like 5.5 a game, and I feel like every game we had a 3-run lead, and they would get blown.
Going to the 7th, right, Tom? Like we would be comfortable.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, there's a site that does it, and I was looking up like where we were between inning 6, 7, 8, and 9. Between 6 and 7, I think we were like 14th and 15th, and then 8 and 9th, I think it was bottom of the league in runs given up in the 8th and 9th inning.
Gotcha.
It's terrible.
Runs per game, right?
Yes, sir.
It was 5.10.
Yeah.
5.10.
So, as we've seen, and that was with injuries, too. That was with injuries, especially in the second half with JT. Bryce was going through with the back, and that's not excuses, that's reasons. And Hoskins being out for a little while.
And the start with us.
Yeah, it's true. And scoring runs wasn't the issue. It was not the issue at all.
No, I mean, can Zach Wheeler not have a 4-on run average, right? Like, can Aaron Nola be under a 3.3? He was a 3.62 last year. You know, Zach Eflin, I mean, 4.5 out of your 3-hole isn't going to be good enough. You know what I mean? You got to be under 4. All right. You know, I don't want this guy in there, but if it's Vince Velasquez, Matt Moore, or Chase Anderson, right? You're talking about all 4 guys, right? All high 4 guys. I mean, they got to be low fucking 4s. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They got to be low 4s. I'm not trying to be like a stat junkie, but like these guys got to be better. They got to be better. Like me personally, Vince Velasquez would be in my pen, and I would just early on, I'll just let Chase Anderson and Matt Moore go 4-5 if it's not Spencer Howard, right? If it's not, like then I'll just roll out veterans. Go ahead, whatever. I can start Howard in AAA and then bring him. I can always bring him up if he's pitching well, right? And them guys aren't. So that's not a big deal, right?
They're at least guys who can eat.
And then let Velasquez be your long relief.
Would you bring back Cole Hamels to compete?
No. If I recall correctly, over the last 2.
This is why I want it. It's just because it's almost like the Deshaun Jackson thing.
Right.
Stay healthy, man.
He's done.
This is even bigger because let's remember Cole for being a World Series MVP, right? Like, let's remember Cole Hamels for what he was and not a shell of himself. I love Cole. I don't want this Cole Hamels. Like Matt Moore is this Cole Hamels. Like at this point. Like I think Matt Moore's the lefty, right? Not Chase Anderson. Matt Moore is, I believe. Yeah, Matt Moore's the lefty. So, like, to me, that's then just give me that. And Chase Anderson, no, he's a righty. But still, Moore's that lefty that you were looking for. He's not good. But, he could be some of these guys can be flashing the panners. You know what I mean? There's the scenery they can throw well in the 5-hole. Like, that's what you need at your 5-hole, right? We always talk about, like, 5-hole guys, like, just don't give up more than 4 runs, right? You're in the 5-hole, right? Just give me. Can you give me 4-piece? Where's the 4-piece? Because I think I can score 6 or 7, right?
Yeah, we can get away with a 5-hole guy being a Band-Aid type player. We can.
Mm-hmm.
We can.
If I'm bringing in a spotty pitcher, I'd rather bring in Rick Porcello than Cole Hamels. Hamels, I don't think he has anything left in the tank. He's injury prone, and I would just be waiting for the next injury to happen with him. And the only reason you bring him back is like nostalgia.
Who's the guy you were talking about earlier?
Odorizzi.
I'll look up his numbers.
That's a great question, Nick Foles. Who's got the best rotation in the NL East? Jesus.
Odorizzi only played 4 games last year.
Yeah. Best rotation? I think us.
Really?
You think?
In the NL East.
You don't think it's the Mets?
I'm like DeGrom. I'm not in fucking love with that rotation. That rotation was better when it was DeGrom and Wheeler than it is now. I don't love the rotation. They didn't fucking get it done. I'll look at the rotation again. To make sure. Obviously, I haven't been in baseball mode here in a minute, so I gotta get my. They move. Baseball players move and shake like it's nobody's fucking business.
Don't they still have Stroman and they have?
They got Stroman and they got
Correa, or I'm sorry, not Correa. Carrasco.
Okay, so
Syndergaard, DeGrom. That's 4.
Yeah, DeGrom, Stroman, Carrasco, Tejon Walker, and Joey DeLucci.
Yeah, they've got 4. Legit.
Yeah,
guys.
I like theirs a little
studs.
bit more than us.
yeah, they're.
I know you're not gonna like this, Tom. I don't even. Do we know who Aaron Nola is?
Yeah, I feel like I do. But they're 3. They're 3 heavy. Their 3's better than our 3. If you're talking about Nola, Wheeler, Eflin, and then you go DeGrom, Stroman, Carrasco. That 3's better. So yes, the nod goes to the Mets. I actually forgot all about Carrasco being there. I thought they were just a 1-2 punch and then a bunch of guys. But their 3's good.
I really like Tejon Walker.
And
I thought he would be an option for us.
He's their 4th, which is great for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, their 4-5 is very similar to us in a way, right? Maybe a little. Their rotation is better 1 through 5, obviously. But you don't know what Spencer Howard is. So you have unknowns. Can Zach Eflin be consistent? And the Aaron Nola thing, yeah, I know who he is, right? I feel like I know who he is. I think he has a bounce back over 162. I think you see a bounce back. He's not going to have an earned run average of like 3.5. He's just not. I think he's too good of a pitcher for it.
My biggest thing isn't even the full sample. It's the September thing that we've seen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest concern. It's the games we've needed him.
There is, but remember, it was only this year. We haven't had a bunch of games before where we really needed him per se.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The year before we were a fucking cluster. We were a dumpster fire for 2 months.
Yeah, he was one of like our 90 problems. He was a problem, but he wasn't our biggest problem. So
2 years ago he wasn't. 2 years ago he might have been the only bright spot. Last year he's an absolute problem. There's no way of running from it. He didn't get outs late in the year. It's plain and simple. It fucking smoked his earned run average. He was throwing pretty well up until that last month of the season where he ran out about 4 or 5 fucking starts and stunk.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. He ran out more than that. But you know what I mean? He's stunk. The Tampa haunt shit.
Didn't he go like 0 for 7 or something?
Something like that. But guess what? The win losses aren't it. It's guys. He got hit around, and it was to me, that's where like hitting's contagious. Finding barrels is contagious too. Like when if I'm throwing fucking cookies, they become contagious. If your bullpen can't get out, guess what's going to start happening? Your rotation going to start. And that's not excuses, but it just becomes contagious. Nobody can get it fucking out. Now, hopefully, this is a year where you start getting outs early and everybody starts feeling better about themselves because that's what this team needs. They're going to live and die off of how they're figuring out how to get 27 outs a night. How am I getting 27 outs a night?
I'm going to read you guys the Nationals, and then Ryan Shackelford, I'll bring up the Braves in a second. So the rotation for the Nationals, and this is per MLB.com, so if it's the wrong name, blame MLB.com, not me. They've got Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, Lester, Austin Voth, Eric Fedde.
Better. They're better.
Yep. Would you say they're better than the Mets?
No. Well, I mean, what Strasburg am I getting?
Yeah, that's the big question.
That's a real question.
So I don't know. I mean, they're close, man. They're close. The Braves rotation aren't as good as the other two. It might not be as good as ours. They just find ways to get outs.
Yeah, they're efficient.
Yeah, they're not like anybody you're like, oh my God. I think they're I'm drawing a blank.
Oh yeah, no, they're not as good.
Their ace is a young kid, what's his fucking
Soroka.
Yeah, he can throw. They're not bad.
No, I mean, listen, if we were heading into the year with this, I'm cool, but they're not like world beaters, at least on paper. I'm going to say that, and they're going to probably win the friggin' World Series. But you know my point. Like on paper, I don't look at them like I do the Mets and the Nationals. Say, well, damn. They've got Soroka, Fried, Morton, Ian Anderson, Gabe Kapler's favorite pitcher of all time, Drew Smyly, and Kyle Wright.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Like they're not like her. It's not like it's like it's all right. You know, they have question marks. Like everybody does after 3. You know what I mean? They have more question marks earlier on. We have question marks after 2. The Mets are more question marks only at like their 5 hole.
Yeah, and health. You know what I'm saying?
And health. And listen, what's the Mets problem been? I mean, the Mets problem been their fucking bullpen too. So I mean,
oh Lord,
I mean, gotta figure out who's the closer going to be, and can they get goddamn outs?
Do they still have Betances?
They have Edwin. Yes, they have Betances. They have Familia. They have Edwin Diaz. Can Diaz be? Diaz was better. Diaz was better in the last year. All right. More like look like the guy they traded for, right?
Yeah.
They're not terrible in their pen, obviously. I mean, they got Trevor May. I like Trevor May. He can get some outs. And Familia's a hit or miss guy. They do have Betances, right? They got a lot of big arms in their pen. The Mets are good. The Mets are solid. They truly are solid.
But by the way, full transparency, the fact that we're at the part of the year again where we're talking baseball, I'm ready to run through a freaking wall right now. I mean, it's freaking like the fact that like we're having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? The first game it's televised, right, Pete? Like they're not going to do what they did to us last year.
The first game is not televised. Sadly, it will be on the following Monday. Jesus. I know, right?
They always do it to me. Just put it.
Ivan Nova will be pitching the first game.
Like you got like we're saying they don't have a camera down there. Like no one has a camcorder.
Yeah, somebody.
I'll drive down there with a camera and I'll just watch.
No one can Facebook Live it for us.
You guys love the Mets lineup though.
No.
Let me look at it. I haven't looked at it.
So you got Brandon Nemo, Jeff McNeil. All right.
Okay.
Francisco Lindor, who we absolutely love.
I love it.
Conforto.
Okay.
Alonso, Dominic Smith, J.D. Davis, James McCann.
My boy Pete Smith, favorite player.
Yeah, because Cano is suspended again?
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Jeff McNeil might be at this point. Jeff McNeil can play. So
yes.
They're good. They're good. I mean, they absolutely are. I'm a huge Brandon Nemo guy, but McNeil, Lindor, Conforto, Alonso are an issue.
Yeah.
And Dominic Smith can lose some baseball, so that's fine. Their lineup's good. They're good. They're good. What do you guys feel about that lineup? I mean,
They have
100 times better.
Okay.
that team, again, if healthy, something they never have been.
Right.
They have the recipe to be very dangerous,
Yeah.
like all league dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like make some serious noise.
So what about this lineup? You guys like that lineup, but
Yes.
it's unknown. But Lindor makes them 100 times better, obviously.
That guy changes everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Now I give you this lineup. So are we better than that lineup? Are we better than the Mets?
No,
Yeah.
No.
I don't.
We're not better lineup. Just lineup. Not team. Just lineup.
I think we're better as a
It's
line.
really close.
Offensively,
All
I
right.
think we're better.
Very close.
When you look at pillars of your lineup, we have Harper, Real Muto. I would say Gregorius is a big time pillar.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bohm can be that guy. But that's all for potential. But I think he's going to, like I've said on Wednesday, I think he's going to be an all-star. Because at the end of the day, the guy just hits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 serious pillars. And then you talk about potential on
his scoring position.
yes. And then you look at if Hoskins is healthy and he figures out what he can be, okay? What McCutchen can be if healthy. Yes, I would say based off of depth and core and potential, I would say we are better. Yes, but it's very close.
No,
Very
it's close.
close.
I think we got pros in our lineup. A lot of it's going to depend on Bryce Harper. To me, what kind of year he has.
Yep.
Because I mean, I love how deep you start to get 6-7 all when you're talking about maybe Didi, Gene, right? Like you're talking professional hitters down low in your lineup, which I love. Close, but I'm going to give us the nod. I'm gonna give us a little bit of nod there because I think we got a lot of consistent guys who have been consistent for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Kutch is usually. I think Kutch gonna have a good year now coming off of that ACL final. You know what I mean? That he had a year off of it. Now you get that next year. He's gonna move around a lot better than he did this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confident in that, right?
Yeah, we're about like 18 months removed from the ACL now for Kutch.
Like that, yeah.
Yep.
And he played on it last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
remember that he played on it, so got the cobwebs out per se of just feeling it out. But I mean, that's a pros pro. Segura hits like a fucking pros pro. All right, Didi hits like a pros pro.
I always forget about Segura. I swear to God, I always forget.
That's why I wanted him back so.
That's
Why I wanted Didi so bad, right? Because I'm like, dude, you get Didi back now. Segura just becomes somebody people forget about, and he's gonna play second base at a high level, and he's gonna fucking hit. All right, he's gonna hit. His whole lineup hits. There's only one guy that we don't know if he can hit, and that's whoever's gonna bat in the 8-hole. We just don't know. We just don't know who that is. Like think about it. McCutch's gonna hit, Bomb's gonna hit, Harper's gonna hit, Realmuto's gonna hit, Hoskins gonna hit, Didi, Gene, them guys are gonna hit. The only lineup in the NL that is better is probably Atlanta.
What can somebody pull up the Atlanta one? I just want to
I'm all right here. I'm
Okay.
rocking and rolling over here. I'm now locked in. It's like opening.
I'm telling you, I'm ready to see that window over there. See that window? I'm flying through it in a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this lineup's damn good too.
Can't jump. What are you doing?
All right, now you got Acuna,
All right, he can hit.
Marcelo Ozuna,
Ray.
Travis Deronard, whatever I fucking say his stupid name, former Philly, Ozzy Albies,
or whatever the hell. Yeah.
Ozzy Albies, Dansby Swanson, Austin Riley, and Christian Pache, however you say his name. Pash. Fucking loaded.
Lineup's loaded. Doesn't even matter what his name is. Lineup's loaded.
Honestly, we got like freaking. I mean, how many guys want to hit 30 home runs in that lineup? You know what I mean? That's a fun lineup. Right there, though. Like we're right there with that lineup.
Yep.
We're right there. That lineup's not like head and shoulders better than ours.
If Realmuto stays healthy and he is what he is, and Harper's the MVP, we're very close to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got to be top 5 MVP voting.
Yes.
For us to be the team we want to be.
Yes. Absolutely. Consistency. If he replicates what he was in that last month in this past season, in the bubble year, if he triples that as far as length, holy God. You know what I'm saying? Because he was single-handedly keeping us in floating distance of the friggin' playoffs.
Who, Harper?
Especially with all the injuries around.
Yeah, his back is supposedly good to go right now, which makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I said it a million times. Okay, I love Bryce Harper. Okay, I love him. I love him. I love him now that he's a Philly.
But
I have zero fucking tolerance. Zero fucking tolerance. I'll say this a million times. For month-long slumps.
Yeah.
Month-long. You are too talented of a baseball player for that bullshit to be going on. All right? For that shit to be going on, I got no time for it. What I need to start seeing, all right, is so his first 2 years with us. All right, his first 2 years with us. So you want to talk about 2019 is probably the best example of the guy, right? That's 35 home runs, 98 RBIs, and a 260 batting average, okay? All right. To me, I need 40 and 100. Okay? I need 40 to 100.
And can we get him to 270, 275?
Yeah.
But right, the only time he's only hit 41 time. And
What
it was in that MVP year.
Okay. What year was that again, Tom?
2015.
Damn, it's been 6 years.
All right, he had 330 that year. Now, 2017, he only played 111 games, but he still batted 319 that year. All right, like he has the ability. Like if you look at 20 from rookie year on, right? Rookie year on, 270, 274, 273, 330. All right, then he has a 243 year after his MVP year, so he has a down year, okay? Mm-hmm. Then he's 319, 249, 260 with us his first year, then 268. That 268, 270 is where I need him to be, okay? I'm not a big average guy. I still need you're getting paid a ton of money. You need to be a 270 guy, all right? And they project him to go 273 and 40 home runs and 114 RBIs. That's where I need him to be. That's
recipe A1 for a playoff berth.
Right? That's
everyone else does their job, and the bullpen isn't a disaster, and Girardi does his job, obviously, in the dugout, and the starters do their job. That's a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He's got to drive 100 plus RBIs and 40 plus home runs. And, if he hits like 42, then you can bat 260 if you drive it 120. Like there's ways to do it. But if you're only going to hit 35, then you need to bat over 270. It's one or the other. If you're going to be a pure power fucking dude, then you need to be 250, 260. And if you're going to bat 250, then you need to hit like 48 fucking home runs.
It's got to be one or the other.
You understand? Then the long ball's got to go up. It's got to be one or the other. There's no middle ground fucking here. There's no fucking missionary of 268 and 29 home runs. That doesn't do it for me. I didn't sign up for that. Okay? I'm trying to win. And his lineup's good enough where I don't want to hear no fucking excuses where this guy has to have an MVP caliber season right now. And anybody that disagrees with that out there is on the Harper fucking Kool-Aid. Okay? There's no outs in this city, and I love the guy now that he's a Philly, okay? But there's no outs in this city for inconsistency. Listen, there's slumps in baseball. I expect you to go through them. Fucking month-long shit I got no time for guys that level his talent. And he knows how to get himself out of it, which is a mind fuck to me with his talent. Go the other way, live middle away. He knows this. Mm-hmm. But when he tries to get pool happy, he stinks, and he goes through them spurts too long. Fucking, you can bat 260. Hit me 48 damn home runs, driving 125 home runs, fucking be Ryan Howard then. All right? I'll take Ryan Howard production over Bryce Hart production any day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, Bryce is a feared hitter when he's on, but can his on just stay on a little bit longer? I think months eliminate instead of a month, right? Give me 2 weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think in his slumps, it started when he gets a little like all or nothing type mode. You know what I'm saying? Where it's the home run ball or nothing. And he gets cheat, like you said, he gets pool happy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, give me some of the it's fine with making contact and just getting it in play. We'll live with that all day long if you're slumping. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think, not to compare Baum to friggin' Harper, but that's why I think Baum's going to be a really, really fun player and a really good player in this league. It's because even when he is slumping, he's a contact first guy. He's not somebody that's going to go crazy.
The first thing that creates big slumps, right? I mean, the first thing that creates big slumps is strikeouts. Strikeouts kill your game. Strikeouts is the most, I don't care if you're striking out X amount of times at the high level if you're hitting 45 plus, right? Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So there's that fine line of it. But you can't be striking out 200 times a year, right? And then not delivering the power side of it. Okay? Right. Two things have to go hand in. Because to me, the greatest thing out of a slump is what you're talking about, is contact, right? Let me find my bat a couple times. Let me put some balls in play. Let me try not to do too much, right? That's what guys tell themselves, right? But the great hitters are the ones that go through it and get out of it quicker. Get out of it quicker, because when you strike out a ton, you're expected to slump, right? But he just got to eliminate it. How about instead of striking out 200 times, he strike out, hey, can I get it to, what's he usually average? So he struck out 178 in 2019, right? He can't strike out 178 times and give me 36 home runs, right? Wow. Then you got to drop them strikeouts to 150 and put more balls in play. And that's the little things that go under the radar and aren't talked about. Listen, does he look great? Does his body look great? All right. Is his swag awesome? All right. Does he hit balls 500 fucking feet? Yes.
The Instagram photo today with him, Boa, and Manuel was probably the greatest photo of all time. It's great.
Top three, yep.
It's a love affair here. It ain't a love affair for me unless you're doing what the love affair is about. Okay? Yeah. All right? A lot of guys got fucking crushed in this city, and I'll be sure as hell, Dan, that won something here, right? Howard, Rollins, even Utley at times. Utley never, but Howard and Rollins will get beat over the fucking head in this city. All right? Bryce Hart ain't getting a free pass on my watch, and I love the guy. All right? You better come here. You got paid a lot of money, honey. Not just to look good in photos. Fucking, I want fucking 40 home runs a year for the next 3 years. 40. Or go fuck yourself.
How many home runs did he have in 2019, Tom? 36?
36.
I think I said that. 35.
And his batting average was 268?
No, that year was 260.
260. Well, to your point,
everything was down, right? His on base percentage was down.
Yeah. Probably walks. I think his walks were up. I think that was the only thing that he was doing better in, right?
Let me see.
I just remember all not the Bryce defenders, because I love Bryce and not to crush him, but like everyone was like, "Oh, he's walking a ton." It's like, yeah.
Well, it's good. His walk to K ratio. I mean, his K percent was 26%. All right. His walk percent was 14.5, which is not good compared to the 2015. It was 19% his MVP year, right? So you're talking, you're talking about, and then 2016 was 17%. Then he had a 13, 18, 2020. Granted, not as long of a sample size, but better, right? Was 20%. So last year he was 2017. So he eliminated a little bit of that. So he did a good job of it, essentially, just in a smaller sample size, right?
Oh, and that goes back to what you said, Tom, in his slumps. Every player goes through it. But in that, okay, you're not delivering with the home runs. I'm not even, like, I'm asking for putting contact on the ball, getting, a single here, double, etc. Just add to your walks then. You know what I'm saying? Be more, not to say he's not disciplined at the plate, but like you talked about, Tom, when you're slumping, it's going to be strikeouts. It's going to be reaching for something, searching for kind of the spark to get you going again. Well, okay, when you know you don't have your stuff for those 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, then get on base other ways. And that's something that he's done in the past, and I think he needs to continue doing. Because like we talked about, it's not like he's the only guy who can deliver power. It's not the only guy who can hit in this lineup. So if he's batting in the 3-hole and he's getting on base, boom. If you're slumping, but you're still getting on base via walks or, a single here or there, not going for the big home run ball, I think that's so underrated when you talk about different things he can, add to this lineup as far as giving other guys the ability to be in a better spot.
Yeah, look at 2020, right? Shortened sample, 58 games, right? That's it, okay? So just keep that in mind. But he walked 49 times and struck out 43 times. Okay, that's fucking great. All right,
Yeah.
that's great. That's actually not going to be. That's almost not reasonable for him. Great, because in 2019 he walked 99, so we'll say 100, right?
Yeah.
And he struck out 178. That's too much. That ratio wasn't good enough, right? Now you go to his MVP year, which I believe is 2015. He walked 124 times and struck out 131, right? And the next year he went 108 and 117. Okay, you see, like them ratios are like better. They're closer. Like he's got to be closer to that. He can't be like in 2014. I guess he was banged up a little bit. He only played 100 games, but it was 38 walks, 104 strikeouts. Like nope. Like 99, 178 is not good. Not good. But I'll give him a pass his first year here.
Oh yeah, it was a firestorm. I mean, he was, you know what I'm saying? And plus he even talked about it. He was trying to go crazy and he forced it a little too much because of the whole thing.
Can I say this to these guys? These guys really want to hear this right now. Do these guys really want to hear this? I mean, I'll tell you guys straight up. Okay. Hold on. Rome's not on. I'm not gonna smoke on air. All right. I have more class than that. This is what I'm going to tell everybody out there. Overrated. Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? Oh, it has been. Not overrated per se. Got a tremendous fucking talent. All right? But from what he was, you're talking about a cover boy like LeBron, right? Baseball's a different sport. I get it. But your personal numbers are your personal numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Winning, to me, okay, I love it. And I love it on resumes. But the best player in baseball doesn't even make the playoffs in Mike Trout. So, like, to me, you got to understand that factor in it. So, I'm not going to talk about World Series and this, that, and the third. That helps you be great. Don't get me wrong. All right? But look at the numbers. Look at the inconsistency. You tell me that that's just a top 25 guy. That's what he is. He's a top 25 guy in baseball. And anybody that puts him as a top 10 guy drinks his fucking Kool-Aid. Now, he can be. That's the problem. He has all the ability in the world to be a top 5 guy, okay? To be an MVP. He has it there. So overrated? No. But yes, because all the talent in the world's there. But now he's coming into them prime years. Remember this. He came up as a baby. He's coming into them prime years where last year in a small sample size, he was doing it. He was consistent way more. Now, can he this year in a big prime year, can he be consistent? And if he drives 40, loses 40 balls and has over 100 plus RBIs and bats me 270, whatever, okay? And his slugging's good, his on base, and he's getting on base, then he's not overrated. You understand? In 58 games last year, he was not overrated. To say that to everybody. In 58, he wasn't. In 2019, he fucking absolutely was.
Mark, it's a great question because, like, I'll ask you this. I'll ask the fam and I'll ask everyone in here. We would all agree that Bryce Harper is the biggest name and star in baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Household-wise.
Yep.
We would all agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, that he's the biggest star, I think a lot of people
think he's the second.
Behind Trout?
Yeah. The biggest
like household name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, he does play.
I think he's more marketable than Trout just because of his personality. But obviously,
I don't know. Baseball. Trout doesn't market himself great. Baseball tries to market him, but
he makes it hard on himself.
Like they're just right there with each other. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like both of them.
I know what you mean.
When you talk to young kids, like it's Trout Harper. All right, is that fair?
Well, you know why too, and this kind of goes along with. So you're right. I think Trout's popularity isn't, and again, people are going to misconstrue this and say that I'm saying Bryce Harper's popularity has no substance. I'm not saying that at all. But I think Mike Trout's popularity is based off of how friggin' great he is. You know what I'm saying? And just everything, like the stuff he does on the ball field. I think Bryce Harper is the biggest star because he's more marketable and because he was that Sports Illustrated cover athlete from when he was a freaking kid. You know what I'm saying? To where his name has been the household name for forever, it seems like.
That's a good point.
So I think the reason why he's a tad overrated, it has, to be honest, it has nothing to do with that he's not good, or it has nothing to do with that. But I think because of the more casual baseball fans think, oh, well, he's the biggest star, therefore he's the best player. And that's just not the case. And I believe that he goes in that overrated category because he's the biggest star, but he's not even a top 10, top 15 player in the bigs. No. And that's where it's like a misconstrued to where the guy's always talked about, but he's not the best in the game.
No, he can't hold Mookie Betts' jock strap.
He can't. He's not even close to freaking Acuna.
No. Yeah, no.
And seriously, like if you polled everyone in the country and you say, okay, who do you know? You know what I'm saying? Like Acuna, I feel like half of baseball fans don't even know who Acuna is.
Yeah.
Compared to Harper,
he could walk into a crowded mall and people wouldn't be able to pick him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always said as a National fan, he's overrated. His name is big, but as a player, he doesn't equal wins and championships. I agree with him, Molly. Now, it is funny, Jacob, that he left and then, they won. But I'll say this, though. And it's not an excuse for him because I've been extremely critical of things since we talked about him, right? So it's not like I'm giving him a pass. I'm just saying, like, now he's what, 27? Right?
Yeah, 27, yeah.
So he's in the prime. So that, like, if you're generational, that's starting equating to wins with a good enough baseball team here. You understand? Like, if you're not winning championships and you're 22, 23, 24, like, I don't know, you're a younger guy too. And with all the fame and all that, but he's in them prime years for baseball. 27 to 32-ish, right in there. Even for him, probably 33, 34. Can he go on a run, not only winning, but losing baseballs? Like, can this guy hit 40 a year for the next 4 or 5 years? Which he should easily be able to do.
In this ballpark, absolutely. If he stays healthy, absolutely. Yeah.
There's no excuse he shouldn't be hitting 40. This whole ballpark was built for guys to lose baseballs. Well, this is a lineup that should be able to lose baseballs. And plenty of them.
I'll give you one other.
Baby. Crooked innings. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Charlie was sitting there today. He said crooked.
Yeah. I'll give you one other name as far as, and I don't think he is, but I know based off of the team, I know he's always up there. And he's still a friggin' kid at this point. Do you think Aaron Judge has an argument to being the biggest name in the bigs? Just because of the Yankees and how big of a splash he had when he came up?
A couple years ago, yes.
Not right now.
Yeah, not right now, no.
I'd put Tatis over him right now.
Yeah, because a couple years ago, he was all that you heard was Aaron Judge. But in these past couple years, he's kind of been on. I'm not going to say he's regressed, but he just hasn't been the same as he was 2 years ago.
Agree.
Who here you could argue is kind of similar. It's like how Stanton was like 2-3 years ago, where everyone and their mother was talking about him.
Yeah, I think Tatis is going to be a household name if he isn't very shortly. I think when young kids see the plays he makes and playing the shortstop position. Yeah, and you're playing on the West Coast. Like, Fernando Tatis is going to be a monster name. And you got the pedigree, that he played. Like, Judge is one of them overrated guys in a way because of the market. But he's not. Like, if he's healthy, I don't know. I don't know. I fucking hate the Yankees, so fuck it. No. Yeah.
If he wasn't in the pinstripes, would we rank him as highly as other people do? You know what I mean?
No, but I think like the biggest thing, and honestly, given like a few moments ago, like I said, how when you talk about the potential of this team, I'm going to mention, and how much, I mean, because this is the guy, I love Mike Trout. I love those guys. But if there was one name I've been clamoring for the last 5 years, I believe if everything shakes out with this team and given the market he's in now in the city, I think there's a really good chance that Francisco Lindor is the biggest name in baseball.
Oh, I can 100% see that.
That's a good one.
If they go to the World Series or possibly win, or even if they go deep in the playoffs, and I understand they're the second fiddle team in New York, but it's still New York.
Mm-hmm.
And no disrespect to Cleveland, but you're comparing New York to freaking Cleveland.
Yeah,
right. And Cleveland hasn't been, they've been good. They've been good, but they haven't really materialized in anything. At least the last handful of years, couple years. That is.
No, I mean they've won because of him. A lot to do with him and him being the player he is and playing the shortstop position. I think Tatis has a better shot because I think the Padres are better.
Oh, I think the Padres are winning it all this year, so I'm right there with you.
I think the Padres
say the Dodgers, but I can see why you would say that.
Yeah, I mean Dodgers are fucking loaded. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna go. I don't know. I just love I love Hosmer too. Like Hosmer's just a fucking winner to me. I just think they said fuck you to the Dodgers, and they said we'll go all in with you. We're gonna put our chip. Everybody's putting their chips all in. Good. We'll slide our fucking chips to the table here too. I love it.
They said okay. People are calling us the second fiddle in California. Second fiddle who? We're gonna go get everybody. Like trade. Okay, well sure, I'll make a trade.
You guys, yeah. Who do we want? I mean, their lineups loaded.
Do they have the best rotation in the bigs, or at least in the NL? Would you say?
Let me go look at it again.
Yeah, I was going to say because when somebody asked, do we have who has the best in the NL? I read it instead of NL East. I read NL. I was say, okay, Padres. Just because I don't even know. I haven't looked at it in a couple months, but just they already had a good rotation before all the three trades.
We've been so consumed here. 1 to 20. Why are you giving me?
What's up, Don? How are you, brother?
What's up, Don?
Let's see. It says Mets new owner is a longtime Mets fan who is worth $14 billion. That wants to win within 5 years. Well, they've got a good shot. Again, if they stay healthy.
Okay, so they got Darvish. Snell, Joe Musgrove, Lamette, I think. But he looks like he's hurt, I think. Chris Paddock. Yeah, they got a good rotation here. They got a real good rotation. Very good. I mean, Snell and Darvish alone just help you.
I thought they had one other guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he left via free agency.
Who?
Padres.
Adrian Morin? I don't know. Mackenzie Gore?
No, you're right. I'm looking at it here. It's Musgrove, it's Lamette, Paddock, and then Darvish and Snell. No, you're right.
Yeah, which is very good. Very good. I mean, Darvish and Snell alone. Musgrove's pretty good. Lamette's pretty good.
Oh, Clevenger.
They got Clevenger?
I have Clevenger?
Oh my gosh.
Fucking shit.
Oh, he's hurt. That's why he's not showing up.
Okay. All right. But still, they're hit wise. You have Tatis. You have Machado. Tommy Pham's hurt. Profar's hurt. You got Will Myers, Hosmer. They got a good lineup.
Yeah.
They're good.
What the
Now, is our lineup as good as the Dodgers? No.
7-9.
Is ours?
Good as the Dodgers?
No. God, Jesus. No. Is anybody's?
No. They're 7-8 pitchers deep, man.
Yeah.
Fucking fair.
No.
They're 7 or 8 pitchers deep, and they're 2 lineups deep.
Mm-hmm.
Like their second lineup that they roll out there is better than a lot of lineups.
Their 6 and 7 could be our 2 or 3. That's how good they are.
You guys want to hear it? Where are you at, you scumbags? You losers. I hate the Dodgers.
Don says, I hate to say this as a Tigers fan, but I can see the White Sox doing damage in the AL. I have the two biggest risers.
You want to hear this real quick?
Yeah.
Mookie, Seager,
Pamp.
Turner,
Pamp.
Bellinger,
Pamp.
Will Smith, Max Muncy, AJ Pollock will be hurt in 40 games, and Chris Taylor. And then they got Gavin Lux, Austin Barnes, Edwin Rios, Matt Beattie, and then their rotation is Kershaw, Bauer, Bueller, Urias, David Price.
That's right. They do have Bauer. They do have Bauer.
That lineup is going to make. They're going to make it. They're going to be pretty good. They'll make it.
Dodgers, good at baseball, solid team.
Yeah, solid
Great
team.
future.
I know what do we want to know. We really want to know, and then we really want to know San Diego's lineup. I got back to the spot I need to be at, which is really giving me their lineup. Okay, Trent Grisham, Fernando Tatis,
Pimp.
Machado, Hosmer, Pham, Myers. What's that? Cronenworth, and Austin Nola.
Pretty good.
So they're not.
They're not Dodgers. They're not.
No.
They're not Dodgers, but they're very good 1 through 6.
Well, if Fernando does Tatis, if he does his thing, and then Machado goes crazy,
they're right there. Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah.
They're not as good as that, but they're right. They're right there. And then like we talked about, their staff can go to war with them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their staff is absolutely built to go to war with them. So, we'll see.
Real quick for Don, can you pull up the White Sox?
The White Sox, yeah, fucking
Yes.
sleeper.
I
Now-
think the two biggest risers in the bigs are going to be the White Sox in the AL and the Padres in the NL.
All right, so here's our lineup: Tim Anderson, Adam Eaton, Grandal, Abreu, Jimenez, Moncada, Robert, Collins, Madrigal. I don't know who the fuck that is.
I was going to say, I don't know who that one is.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. There's a lot of lineups in the league that they hit. I mean, there's a lot of lineups. Their staff, Giolito, Keuchel, Lance Lynn, Dylan Cease, Carlos Rondon. So,
And they have a loaded farm system too.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys.
yeah, they're definitely.
Mega Bear says the Dodgers 119 and 43.
Listen,
Probably.
Did I hear?
let's read all St. Louis is because we talked about them, right? And we never
Would
got to them.
appreciate
We said they were better than us. So,
Yes.
Tommy Edman,
Okay.
Paul DeJong, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Dylan Carlson, Yachty, Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader. Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
It's is it fair to say they're top heavy? Are they top heavy?
A little bit, but they're very good. I think they're balanced. They have enough. They have enough power all over. God, they're young in spots. I mean, Carlson's young. O'Neill's only 25. What's Bader? 26. Edmonds 25. They're a pretty young team. Goldie's old now. What does Goldie do?
Yeah, he's got to do what he was brought there to do. He's been a big disappointment for them.
Mm-hmm.
Big disappointment for them.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the first year he wasn't.
No, but like I would say the full sample size.
Yeah, he had a bad little.
Well, he got hurt, right? Didn't he get hurt?
No, he actually hit the ball well last year, in the small sample size. I mean, he batted 304.
Oh, well, damn. No, I stand corrected then.
No, I mean the first year he only batted 260, which isn't him. Okay,
No.
and 34 home runs. His home run numbers were there, but his average and It just wasn't full. It wasn't great. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't great. But they're good. They're good. They're good. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of good freaking teams. There is a lot of good teams that we're not even talking about.
Don, he says, do you guys think Vlad Guerrero Jr. is overhyped?
No, not yet.
No. I love that he lost a ton of weight because I was worried that he was going to end up being like a slower version of Michael Franco. But no, his power. I mean, if he puts the guy, I mean, his power numbers is friggin' unreal. And plus, like we always talk about pedigree talk, Tom. I mean, we know who his father is.
Yeah.
His father's top 3 most favorite ball player for me of my life. I love Vlad.
That lineup is dangerous. George Springer, Marcus Simeon, Bo Bichette. Then you got
puppies.
Oscar Hernandez, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio, Gorell.
Everybody's kids are on that team. I love it.
Yeah.
Listen, they're going to hit some fucking home runs.
Didn't Halliday's son go there? Didn't they draft him?
He got drafted by the Blue Jays.
Love that.
There's a connection.
I was wondering if we were going to draft him.
Their rotation stinks outside of Rue. But they can hit for sure.
Yep.
They can hit. I'm trying to see if I missed anybody in the NL. I'm not. I mean, Washington maybe. Let me see what Washington's overall lineup is. The Trey Turner. Okay, yeah. Fuck me. Trey
Is
Turner.
he going to stay healthy, though? Is he going to stay healthy?
True. Turner, Soto, Josh Bell. I forgot about that signing.
Oh, my God. I'm still pissed at that one.
Schwarber.
They gave up nothing for Josh Bell. Nothing.
Can't believe
nothing.
They got Schwarber, Starlin Castro. I forgot they got Castro now. Yan Gomes, Victor Robles, Carter Kierboom.
Oh, Kai
they're
Boom.
like Kai Boom. They're good. I mean,
sneaky. I would say sneaky.
Yeah, like sneaky for sure. Sneaky for sure.
They're not as star loaded as they were when they had obviously the third. Why am I blanking on the third baseman who went to the Angels?
Oh,
Rendon.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. But like you said, like not to take anything away from the Nationals when they won, but it's like, Jesus. I mean, it was going right for them when Trey Turner stayed healthy.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at.
No, you're right, Maz. The Jays have no rotation at all, so they gotta hope that,
none whatsoever.
They got to hope that all the sons of the former players have like mega years offensively.
Yeah,
it's Rue or bust.
Yeah, well, it's Biggio, Bichette, and Vlad or bust. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you better hit. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm just not sold on our.
TTP, what's up, brother? He says, so what's happening with the Phillies this year? Are these mother effers going to be able to pitch this year or what? I'm out of the loop.
Yes.
Well, TTP, we'll answer for you. We talked about it a little while ago, but like we talked about, we're not crowning this bullpen, but we're much better than we were. And granted, how close we were, given we were one game out of making the playoffs. We only had to win 1 out of the last 7. We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
With a historically awful bullpen. We think our bullpen's better. Well, we know our bullpen's better. We think our starting rotation is going to be better. The lineup is obviously going to still be able to hit. And we have a GM and an ownership group, or at least GM-wise, that's going to make a move. He didn't come here not to make moves. So
yeah, exactly.
He's Dave Dombrowski. Like, that is who he is.
They're 5th or 6th in the NL. Should definitely be a fringe division contender, definitely a fringe playoff contender.
Yeah, they're right there. It comes down to a couple guys, right? It comes down to a couple guys. Nola, Harper, Realmuto, right? Wheeler. Just name 4 guys right there that it's really important they have big years.
I'll ask you, Tom. Last thing I have for you for Phillies. Right now, what's your project? How would your lineup look, 1 through 8?
I'll go Koch.
Agree.
Hoskins.
Agree.
Harper.
Yep.
Realmuto.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Didi.
Yep. I like that you didn't put Bond there. I'm glad.
Boom, 6.
Yes.
Segura 7. And then whoever the hell the center fielder is going to be.
And that will be?
It's going to be Hazley or Herrera.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think Herrera sniffs the field.
You'll see.
He might.
His $10 million says otherwise.
Yeah, he very well might.
I mean, he ain't going to bring you to camp if they owe you $10 million and not give you every chance to
Right.
job there, especially in the 8-hole, dude. Because if that dude can even just go on some tears, like we seen it. Like if he goes on tears, he's going to lose baseballs. So if you got another guy in your lineup that can pop 20, if he can just pop 20 in the 8-hole, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, now we're talking about a lineup that can. Now we're really talking about a finished off lineup. I'm not saying he's got to be a guy who's got to go crazy. I'm just saying if he bats like crazy, if he bat at 270 and hit you 22 home runs, we ain't taking that. I'll take it.
True.
You know? So we'll see. So great show, boys. Anybody got anything else? The callers, they didn't come tonight, which is fine. We talked the muck. You just joining us now. We talked plenty of Sixers, had Flyers and Eagles BS on the table, but never got there because we had a great time with the Phillies. You know, we just talked over an hour or something about just the Phillies alone. So
we've got plenty of time to complain about the Eagles. We've got plenty of time. We want to throw you something a little different with the Phils and MLB stuff because it's been a minute.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be good to talk about them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Get away from this friggin' talking about the NFL for a little while.
Yeah, you're right. Throw it. I mean, they got to prove stuff. They got a lot. They got a lot to fucking prove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck the Eagles right now.
It's a cleanse, not having to say the general manager's name for an entire show. It feels phenomenal.
Right.
It feels phenomenal.
Yeah, especially like Pete said, organically too. Like you know what I mean? Like, listed late, and they didn't even get to them. Thank God, because I'm over that. They don't deserve the time anymore. Unless it's like a dedicated show, fuck them. There's enough sports going on in this city. There's other things to fucking talk about. Plenty of Sixers to talk about, even if they ain't playing tonight. Plenty of Flyers, and we didn't even get to them, and that's fine. And plenty of Phillies now.
I'd rather talk about a general manager that fills me with hope and cheer.
Are you sad, Molly?
Are you?
I mean, we all watched the 2020 season. I think we're sad enough.
Yeah, they did it, not us. Don't blame me.
And fam, if you want to hear, I would say A2D's perspective on the Carter Hart thing, tune in to Hockey Happy Hour last night. The boys there, the first 15 minutes, they broke it all down for you. The friggin' panic in the city. The panic.
I mean, Matt. I thought I dropped a few F-bombers. I mean, Matt might have said fuck 10 million times in the first 5 minutes of the show, which I'm not mad at.
Was it worse than me 2 weeks ago?
It was right on the same level, I think.
It got so aggressive, Pete. I had to put friggin' flaming Elmo on the friggin' screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
Elmo opening the gates of hell.
I love it, though. Matty leaves it out there. So, I love the passion. I think Post said he would spit COVID in somebody's face if they
yes, he did. He did. He would go into somebody's house and sprinkle COVID on their toothbrush.
Yeah, there was a lot of things going on there, and I agree with all of it.
Nice to meet you.
The last thing I want to say is, Matty said it last night. They all said it, Bry, Pove, and it's true. Name goaltenders that are the great ones that were like finished products at 22 because they're not around. So, great show. Stop trying to run every fucking good young player out of this city, people.
Amen.
Right? I'll start fucking fighting y'all. Thank you to bodycheckwellness.com, and you can use promo code A2D for 20% off at checkout. Go check them out. Promote Body Check Wellness, right? They promote wellness, balance, recovery using the full potential of hemp. So go check them out. Extracts, blends, gummies, topicals, clarity and focus. I live by it. Love it. Love it. Eagles, fuck you. Phillies, you're cool right now. Sixers, you're cool. Flyers, you're like fucking lukewarm.
Yeah.
Right. You're Lucas. Little Luke.
Luke talk.
When I was washing my mouth out with salt water with the bad tooth. Like, lukewarm. Lukewarm. Family, we love you all. We can't thank you enough. You can go back and listen to all our shows on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and everywhere you get your podcast from there as well. So like, subscribe, review, fucking whatever the fuck you got to do to keep taking us to the next level. You guys keep doing, because we love you all. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell whoever the fuck wants to listen to you. Tell social media. We here, shows every night. Tomorrow you got Philly the podcast on at 1. There's no kicking it stateside tomorrow. They were on today. Then you have the weekly roundup. They'll be on at 8 tomorrow night. And then you have In This Very Ring with the king of the butter, and Andy.
I'll just add one real quick thing for the fam. And this is just an appreciation thing. So we got a comment last night. And this is just like a PSA for any of the shows, okay? Because we're not just talking for ourselves. So Reggie on YouTube says, Giants fan here, but I simply love A2D radio. Kind of wish y'all talked about all sports, not just Philly sports, but I'm here to stay. Y'all deserve more subs and viewers. Best sports talk around, no notes. Appreciate you, Reggie. But like I said to Reggie in the comments, like we'll say here, just because you see a title, you know what I'm saying? Like Sixers stuff, it doesn't matter what team, like fan of a team you are. You can come in and ask us anything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like we started talking Sixers and we end up talking White Sox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
right.
Don does it to us all the time.
Yeah. So
He asked us about the Lions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like I became a lot more knowledgeable of the Lions, and even though the Pistons are fucking putrid. You know what I mean? You learn a little bit about them. Sorry, Don.
he agrees with you, though. He definitely doesn't.
I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, if you are, then you're drinking Detroit basketball. Cool. You know,
Black Hole City, man.
fucking hated that chant when they were fucking good. Detroit basketball. I fucking know. I know. I watch.
It's worse than the friggin' tomahawk thing when you're watching Atlanta Braves games.
I mean, if you want to cancel culture or something, cancel that. But I'll tell you one thing,
yes.
that's fucking awesome to do when you're there and they're not playing the Phillies. Like I was there, and they do with the phones. Oh, I know, but it was fucking cool. I hate to say it. And a great stadium. Fuck the Braves though. Yep, don't talk that. Now we're look, now we are. If you want to talk more sports, now we're Braves fans.
No chance.
I would trade our line. I would trade
Get the hell out of here. No chance.
I'll die first.
our line up for theirs right now. Right now. Silver platter. Drive everybody.
I'll take half of their farm system and go to bed.
I don't even care.
I'll take the whole farm system and cry.
No, give me your lineup. That is your farm system. You fucking 22-year-olds in your lineup. Give me your lineup.
On cheap deals, too.
Swanson's a pimp, too. It's short. Give me your fucking lineup.
Yep.
Fucking unbelievable. All right. There you go, fucking rock a baby. Rock a baby.
Rock 'em, baby.
Fucking crying over Howie. See? It was said. It was left out there.
2 hours, 36 mark.
Yep. I told you guys all the shows tomorrow. Agree, disagree will be on Sunday. I don't know if we're going to 12 or if we're going to go back to nighttime. Got to check with the Uncle Sweepser and see his schedule. The other two jabronis do nothing on the weekends. They got nothing to do. Fucking
Greg will be sitting in this chair.
yeah, fucking losers. Just kidding. Couple of nerds. Love them both. They're family. They're family. Fam, we out. For Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Jake Friel, Pete Young. For all you motherfuckers, hit that subscribe, hit that like, turn your damn alerts on. We out.